Chapter 114. Me put it on? Luo Feng nervously picked up one of the dark blue helmets and looked towards Yang Hui with confusion. Mr. Yang, I'll just put it on like this? Learn from me. Yang Hui smiled and then sat down on the sofa. You lie on the sofa too. Luo Feng obediently laid down. The sofa was extremely comfortable, perfect for one person to lie on. Yang Hui emphasized, when you put on the helmet, your consciousness will enter the virtual space, so don't panic. Come, put on the helmet. Under Yang Hui's gaze, Luo Feng took a deep breath and put on the helmet. Virtual space? It's only been described in sci-fi novels, but this is his first time experiencing it. The moment he put on the helmet, Luo Feng felt his head buzz. Yang Hui smiled and put on the helmet after seeing Luo Feng put on the helmet. It was a vast expanse of Silverland. Two silhouettes appeared on the ground one after the other, Luo Feng and Yang Hui. So mysterious, this is the virtual space? Luo Feng looked around. The sky of this virtual space was actually the universe. There were millions of stars in the boundless night sky, causing the entire Silverland to emit a dreamy light. This Silverland? It's as smooth as a mirror. Luo Feng squatted down in shock and tapped the ground with his finger, making a metallic clang-clang sound. Luo Feng, in this Tower of Trials virtual space, the sky is the universe. The ground is the Silverland. The material of this Silverland is similar to an alloy. Yang Hui smiled as he pointed into the distance. And the only building you can see in this entire virtual space is that 7-level Tower of Trials. It's also the place where you'll be tested. Indeed, look all around. There was only one building. Around 300 to 400 meters away, there was a gigantic tower that pierced through the clouds. The entire tower was covered in carvings of all sorts of monsters that surrounded the entire tower. With the naked eye, one could faintly tell that this tower had 7 levels. I'll be taking the B-grade test there? Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat as he tried to use his spiritual force. How come there's no spiritual force? He couldn't feel any spiritual force at all. Not good. Luo Feng's body slightly jumped a few times as he punched and kicked. Something seems to be wrong with my body, Mr. Yang. Why do I feel like my body is different from before? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. Yang Hui laughed and pointed at the sky and the ground. Where are we? This was a virtual space. Only our consciousness can enter. Our physical bodies, weapons, and so on can't enter. Only consciousness can enter. Luo Feng was shocked, thinking to himself, which means anything other than consciousness can't enter. My telekinesis didn't enter either. This is troublesome. Without telekinesis, I'm afraid my strength is only a small part of what it used to be. Can I pass this B-rank test? Yang Hui continued. Luo Feng, no matter who it is, they can only enter the virtual space with their consciousness. And the virtual space is to equip us with a virtual body. Our current bodies, our physical attributes are the same, Yang Hui said. Same? Luo Feng was shocked. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a war god, an existence surpassing the war god level, a normal fighter, or even a normal person. After the consciousness comes in, it will have a body with the same physical qualities. Normal fist strength of 10,000 kilograms, speed of 150 meters per second, nerve reaction speed, superior beginner warlord level. Luo Feng was stunned. Everyone has the same physical qualities when they enter the virtual space? Because everyone's physical qualities are the same in the virtual space. Even the head, Hong, has a body like this when he enters the virtual space. This way, it's easy to test a person's true battle strength. Yang Hui looked at Luo Feng. Follow me to the Tower of Trials. What else can he do? In the virtual space, everyone is equal. No matter how strong your body is in the real world, it's the same in the virtual space. The Tower of Trials pierced through the clouds and was incomparably huge. Luo Feng and Yang Hui stood at the entrance like two ants. Look at that stone pillar. Yang Hui pointed at a black stone pillar on the left of the Tower of Trials entrance. An engraving actually appeared on the black stone pillar. Name, Luo Feng. Gender, male identity. Elite training camp preparatory student tower of trials level. 1 Luo Feng turned his head and looked at the black stone pillar on the right of the tower of trials entrance. An engraving also appeared on the black stone pillar. Name, Yang Hui. Gender, male identity, Wargid Tower of Trials level 3. 2 Luo Feng was shocked. His Tower of Trials level was 1, and War God Yang Hui's Tower of Trials level was 3. 2. What exactly is the Tower of Trials level? Luo Feng, are you curious about the Tower of Trials level? Yang Hui laughed. For example, you and I use the same body and enter the Tower of Trials step by step. After passing the first level, you directly enter the second level. At this time, your Tower of Trials level is 2. 0. When you pass the third level, your Tower of Trials level is 3. 0. When you pass the third level, your Tower of Trials level is 3. 1 3. 2 3. 3. All of them are possible, and you haven't done it yet, so you're only at the original one, which means that you haven't accomplished anything in the first level of the Tower of Trials. Luo Feng was shocked. War God Yang Hui is already so old, so of course he has plenty of battle experience. Who would have thought that he would only be able to pass the third level? There are a total of 7 levels in the Tower of Trials. Not a single person has made it to the 7th level yet. Yang Hui laughed as he looked at Luo Feng. Not a single one. Luo Feng froze. What about the strongest fighter on Earth, Hong? And the second strongest fighter, Thunder God? Yeah, not a single one. The strongest fighter on Earth, Hong, has already made it to the 6th level. He's the strongest on Earth. Yang Hui shook his head and sighed. This is the difference. Even if we use the same body as the dojo master, we will not be able to defeat him. I can only make it to the 3rd level, but dojo master made it to the 6th level. Luo Feng raised his head and looked at the 7-level Tower of Trials. Who would have thought that none of the powerhouses on Earth had made it to the 7th level? Suddenly, Luo Feng, please choose your battle uniform and weapon. After choosing, you will enter the Tower of Trials within 1 minute to accept the B-grade exam. Suddenly, an electronic voice resounded throughout the entire virtual space. Battle uniforms and weapons immediately appeared in front of Luo Feng's eyes. Without caring too much, he immediately chose a battle uniform, a ghost blade, and a hexagonal shield that fit his body size. After that, the battle uniform, ghost blade, and shield immediately landed on the ground, and Luo Feng quickly put them on. He could run at a speed of 150 meters per second, and he was terrifyingly fast in his combat uniform. A mirage flashed, and in less than 10 seconds, he was done. Luo Feng, I wish you success. Yang Hui smiled. This B-rank test is the medium difficulty test of the 1st floor of the Tower of Trials. Even though it's only the 1st floor, there are a few dozen members of the elite training camp who are still on the 1st floor. Okay, Luo Feng took in a deep breath and directly walked into the pitch-black entrance in front of him. Who? As if space had changed, Luo Feng instantly entered a vast prairie. Luo Feng. The electronic voice resounded throughout the prairie. The B-grade exam is to kill 100 low-level commander-level raging bulls that are surrounding you within 30 minutes. If you die during this time, you fail. If you don't kill 100 raging bulls after 30 minutes, you fail. This is your first time entering the Tower of Trials, so you have 5 minutes to prepare. Luo Feng's face changed greatly. 100 raging bulls, and they're all low-level commander level. Luo Feng was completely shocked. Even though the monster hordes he usually meets are scary, most of them are soldier-level monsters. Commander-level monsters are extremely rare. However, he didn't think that he would be surrounded by 100 raging bulls in this B-grade exam, and they're all low-level commander-level monsters. Since they're all low-level commander-level monsters, then any raging bull's strength and speed are on par with his. 100 raging bulls that are on par with Luo Feng ganging up on Luo Feng. And Luo Feng has to kill all 100 of them by himself in 30 minutes? Sick. The 1st floor is already this sick. No wonder a few dozen of the 182 official members of the elite training camp are still on the 1st floor. Luo Feng could completely imagine how sick the second, third, and fourth floors are, and Hong is using the exact same body as him. Yet he was able to make it to the sixth floor? This is already unbelievable. Not bad. My body in the real world is pretty close to this virtual body's fitness level. I'm pretty used to it. Luo Feng moved around a bit and swiftly dodged, moved horizontally, and swung his ghost blade to get used to this body. 5 minutes passed quickly. Be great exam begin. The electronic voice was like thunder as it resounded throughout the entire prairie world. At the same time, a strong bull-type monster that was around 3 meters tall appeared 100 meters ahead of him. Among the bull-type monsters, they're famous for living in groups, raging bulls. It had long fur, a pair of curved and sharp horns, and a pair of red eyes. Who? An entire 100 raging bulls. Each of their horns carried a faint red color, as if they were stained with blood. When their sharp horns pierced Luo Feng's body, even if they couldn't pierce through his battle uniform, Luo Feng's bones would probably break and his organs would bleed. Every single one of them was a threat. Who? Following the roars of the bulls that resounded throughout the prairie, rumble, 100 low-level commander-level raging bulls charged towards Luo Feng with their red eyes and white gas coming out of their nostrils. The ground of the prairie slightly trembled. Other than that time at the Carrefour supermarket, I've never faced so many low-level commander-level monsters at once. Luo Feng wasn't confident either. No wonder this Be Great exam is used to test the best geniuses on Earth. As expected, it's ridiculously difficult. If he had spiritual force, he would still be confident. But if he doesn't, I can only risk it. There are a few dozen people in the elite training camp that are still on the first floor, which means that over 100 people have passed the first floor. I don't believe that I can't pass it. Luo Feng clenched his teeth. He's already in this situation. What else can he do? Risk it. 100 raging bulls that were bigger than tanks charged forward. Rumble. The earth shook. The 100-meter distance between the two sides was crossed in the blink of an eye by the low-level commander-level raging bulls. Like a tsunami, the endless raging bulls instantly drowned Luo Feng. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 1:15. Luo Feng didn't move as he faced the charging raging bulls. He held his hexagonal shield in one hand and his ghost blade in the other as he calmly stood in place. Rumble. The smell of the raging bull's breath permeated over. The first raging bull at the very front of the herd finally charged in front of Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who's been through who knows how many beast hordes, is extremely experienced. With just a nimble sidestep, the ghost blade flashed. 9-stage Thunderblade, second stage. 2. 1x strength burst forth. Blood sprayed out from the neck of the first raging bull. 1. Luo Feng's gaze was cold and extremely calm. He was very clear that in front of a monster horde, especially when every single one of them is a threat to him, he definitely can't panic. Raging bulls are quite large, much larger than a regular iron fur boar. Like a tank. Because of their large bodies, only a few of them can attack me at the same time. Luo Feng was clear that he had to use the bodies of these raging bulls to block the attacks. He had to find an opening to maneuver around. Time passed by minute. Luo Feng's technique was definitely at the Ru Wei level, so his dodging within the raging bulls was extremely exquisite. Luckily, Luo Feng had plenty of experience fighting against monster hordes. If he didn't have any experience, then it would be really troublesome for him to fight against 100 low-level commander-level monsters. Other than that, Luo Feng's 9-stage Thunderblade was trained to the 3rd stage, which gave him the ability to kill a raging bull in one hit. 3-1-3-2-3-3. Raging bulls were either leaping or charging. Luo Feng was like a leaf as he dodged the blades with great difficulty. Not good. A sharp horn grazed Luo Feng's face. At the same time, a raging bull's corpse behind Luo Feng was rammed by a raging bull that was still alive, which affected Luo Feng's space to retreat. Just this small error caused the raging bulls to instantly surround Luo Feng from all directions. He was in a situation where he would definitely die. Pong! In an instant, Luo Feng was like a raging bull. His left arm was equipped with a hexagonal shield as he forcefully rammed into a raging bull that was charging towards him from the left. Rumble, the strong impact caused Luo Feng's left arm to go completely numb. His body couldn't help but be pushed backwards. Pooh! The strong impact caused him to spit out a mouthful of fresh blood. At the same time he retreated, Luo Feng's footwork strangely changed the distance between his steps. At the same time, a cold blade light flashed. Puff! The saber slashed across the hoof of a wild bull that was pouncing towards him like a bolt of lightning. The moment the hoof fell, Luo Feng charged forward like lightning. As he charged forward, he used the back of his ghost blade to hit the hoof. The hoof of the bull was like a cannonball as it smashed towards the raging bull behind Luo Feng. It was a dazzling and desperate struggle. Keep in mind that each raging bull's speed exceeded 100 meters per second. Within a 10-meter radius, Luo Feng injured 3 raging bulls and killed 5 in a short 0.8 seconds. He was seriously injured and vomited blood, but he had still survived the dangerous situation just now. Although my saber art's most powerful strike is very powerful, it's still very powerful. When facing a group attack, I can't unleash multiple strikes at the same time. In the past, Luo Feng always chased after the most powerful strike. However, the stronger the strike, the longer it takes for him to pull it back. If Luo Feng could unleash 10 strikes in the blink of an eye and kill 10 raging bulls around him, if his blade speed was this fast, then he wouldn't even need to rely on his Ruwei level technique to dodge. He could just go on a killing spree. However, when facing raging bulls with speeds over 100 meters per second, killing 10 raging bulls in the blink of an eye requires too much control over his blade strength. Pooh! Pooh! Luo Feng didn't dare to relax at all and repeat the same mistake as before. Actually, ever since he escaped from number 003 City's Carrefour supermarket in 1.2 seconds, Luo Feng has experienced the perfect level technique multiple times. He can make the most effective use of any object in his surroundings. He and the environment have become one. Just like this. Since every raging bull was a low-level commander, this unprecedented pressure made Luo Feng feel like he was one with the environment when he killed 70 raging bulls. At this moment, the surrounding raging bull corpses and even the surrounding grass gave Luo Feng an incomparably familiar feeling. He didn't need to use his brain to think and instinctively use every raging bull's corpse or even its parts. Incomparably easy. Pu, pu, pu. As a bull's head flew up, fresh blood spurted out. Used 21 minutes and 18 seconds to kill all 100 raging bulls. Be great exam passed. Congratulations, student Luo Feng. A godlike electronic voice echoed in the sky above the entire grass plain. Only now did Luo Feng wake up from that feeling. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How come it's gone at the crucial moment? Give me more raging bulls. Luo Feng has learned the 9-stage Thunderblade, and the 9-stage Thunderblade has a technique flowing light, so he knows very well that when training his technique, how hard is it to go from the Ruwei level to the perfect level? Many times before, Luo Feng used his spiritual force to sense his surroundings. Only then did he occasionally feel the perfect level technique. And this time, because he was in the virtual space, he didn't have any spiritual force. Unlike the monster hordes in the real world, most of them are soldier-level monsters. Every single one of these monster hordes in the virtual space is a threat to him. So Luo Feng squeezed himself to the limit. He unknowingly stepped into the perfect level. The longer he maintains that state, the easier it will be for him to truly step into the perfect level. Sadly, Luo Feng only maintained that state for a short while. Killing the last 30 raging bulls didn't take more than 5 minutes. The exam ended and Luo Feng came out from that state. Student Luo Feng, you will automatically leave the virtual space in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Elite Training Camp, 9th floor of the 9 Grand Floors. When Yang Hui and Luo Feng laughed as they walked out of the training room, The geniuses of all skin colors from all over the world looked over with shock in the spacious lobby of the ninth floor. A yellow-skinned youth even asked, "Teacher, did he pass the exam?" "He passed," laughed Yang Hui. "I'll take him to do the procedures. It's almost 1 p.m. You guys can begin the exam now." Suddenly, the 10 or so people in the spacious lobby either chatted with Luo Feng or would discuss with each other. After leaving the 9 grand floors, the originally cloudy sky started raining heavily. Luo Feng and Yang Hui walked out with umbrellas. Even though there are only 180 students here, there are the 5 great countries of the world secretly involved. There are also the families of the HR Alliance, etc. "The water here is very deep," said Yang Hui seriously. "Luo Feng, you'll become a member of the elite training camp. As long as you don't get eliminated, your future will be bright. In a training camp, the government, army, special organizations, and families of the HR Alliance will try to rope you in. Maybe you'll be tempted by money, women, and power. However, you have to remember, the most important thing is your strength. Don't mind those temptations too much. Right now, your goal is to charge towards a higher ranking in the training camp. Including you, there are a total of 183 students. All of them are geniuses. What you have to do is to trample others underfoot and stand higher yourself," Yang Hui said solemnly. Luo Feng nodded. "What codename are you going to choose?" said Yang Hui. "Today is March 29th, so you officially joined the training camp on April 1st, 2057. So, the first 4 numbers of your codename must be 5704. As for the last 2 numbers, since you're the only one joining in April, you can choose any 2 numbers you want," Luo Feng suddenly understood. No wonder every person's name on the huge black dragon carving had a code name behind it. Last time he saw the number 1. And no, 1 Renatus and Bridge, 530321. Looks like this person entered the training camp on March 3rd, 2053. Up until now, he's been in the training camp for a full 4 years. "What do you choose for the last 2 numbers?" asked Yang Hui. 03" answered Luo Feng. A series of troubles arose from stealing a dragon egg in number 003 city, and a portion of the elixir of life costs 30 billion. Luo Feng and the number 3 are fated. 03. Yang Hui nodded. "Your student codename is 570403. The other procedures will be done soon. Asterisk, 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 asterisk on the Black Dragon ranking list of the world's number 1 training camp. The 183rd name appeared on that day. And no, 183 Luo Feng, 570403. This news almost instantly spread to the 5 great countries and all the headquarters cities. A few special departments of the government, the 9 core families of the HR Alliance, and dozens of important families all received this news. And on that day, every single organization received a detailed report on Luo Feng, from when Luo Feng was born and lived in a cheap rental housing sector. His family, etc., were all recorded. Huaxia, Kyoto Bay City, in a building built underground. 3rd floor underground. In an elegantly decorated office, a skinny man wearing a loose dojo uniform lightly tapped the table with one hand and flipped through Luo Feng's information with the other. "Send an order to the Jiangnan Headquarters City Division. Send people to watch Luo Feng's family 24 hours a day. 1. Make sure Luo Feng's family never leaves Jiangnan Headquarters City. 2. Make sure Luo Feng's family is safe. We definitely can't allow what happened last time happen again." The skinny man had a mole on his chin, and his gaze was cold. Yes, the various countries' armies, special organizations, financial groups, etc., all had their own plans to deal with Luo Feng, who just entered the elite training camp. At the same time, as the HR Alliance's Huaxia region CEO, Vanina Paulinus, naturally received this information almost immediately. Jiangnan Shanshui District, Huayao Peak Villa. "Vanina, isn't this Luo Feng one of our many suspects?" As soon as he flipped through the first page, Vulture Liao immediately thought of the unremarkable Luo Feng among the many suspects. Yes, when Wei died, he was closer to Wei. Vanina shook her head and said, but he's only 19 years old this year, and he's only a beginner warlord. The family is still trying to figure out a way to get this Luo Feng to work for our Paulinus family. How did he get into the elite training camp? Is it because he's a spirit reader? A cold light flashed in Liao's eyes. No, you'll know after you read it. Vanina shook her head. Yao, I think you're being paranoid when it comes to finding the murderer. You suspect everyone. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 116. The spring rain continued to fall without end. Pa, pa. The rain hit the umbrella and water droplets splashed everywhere. Luo Feng held the umbrella and followed beside Yang Hui. After crossing a wooden arch bridge, they arrived at a group of buildings. Yang Hui pointed not too far away. Luo Feng, that garden over there is Jiangnan Pagoda. There are already 2 students living in Jiangnan Pagoda. You are the 3rd student living there. Jiangnan Pagoda? Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat and couldn't help but to ask, Teacher, why does it have the same name as Jiangnan Headquarters City? Since he had become an official member of the training camp, and Yang Hui was also a teacher of the training camp, he had no choice but to accept it. Naturally, Luo Feng called Yang Hui teacher. Haha, it's based on the base city's name. There are 2 students living in the Jiangnan Pavilion. Both of them are from the Jiangnan Bay City, but they arrived earlier than you. Yang Hui's face was mysterious. He suddenly lowered his voice and said, Let me remind you, one of the 2 students living in Jiangnan Pagoda is called Shi Jiang. He's very powerful. Even I don't have the confidence to defeat him. It will be good for you if you have a good relationship with him. Teacher, you don't even have the confidence to beat him? Luo Feng was shocked. Yang Hui is an intermediate-level war god. Yes, Yang Hui nodded. This Shi Jiang is one of the top 5 students in the training camp. Many of the students in the elite training camp already had the strength of a war god, but they refused to try and obtain the title of war god. This way, they can continue to stay in the training camp. In fact, almost all of the top 30 students in the training camp have the strength of a war god. Luo Feng blinked. Almost everyone in the top 30 has war god strength? This was too exaggerated. All of them were pretending to be pigs to eat tigers. They could have graduated, but they insisted on staying in the training camp for 5 years. The top 5 are all freaks. Yang Hui said in a low voice, Elites from all over the world, especially those ranked in the top 5, compete fiercely. To be able to maintain his position in the top 5 for so long, this Shi Jiang, once he graduates, no matter where he goes, he'll definitely receive the best treatment. If he was in my dojo of limits, for example, the chairman position in Jiangnan Headquarters City, he could easily get it, said Yang Hui. Luo Feng was stunned. Jiangnan Headquarters City's dojo of limits president? This is Jiangnan Headquarters City, the head of the dojo of limits. Wait for him to endure for a few more years before his strength breaks through. It's not impossible for him to become the supervisor of the dojo of limits. Yang Hui sighed emotionally. Perhaps his current strength was on par with Shi Jiang's, but he was already in his 50s, while Shi Jiang was only in his 20s. He was the one with a bright future ahead of him. In his shock, Luo Feng arrived at Jiangnan Pagoda. The courtyard of Jiangnan Pagoda was dozens of meters in circumference, with white walls and black tiles. There are even carvings of dragons on the walls. He pushed open the courtyard door. There were a total of 3 buildings in Jiangnan Pagoda. When Luo Feng and Yang Hui walked into the courtyard, the building was very quiet. Yang Hui directly yelled, Shi Jiang, Zhao Ruo. Suddenly, a short-haired girl in a loose nightgown stood on the balcony of the 2nd floor of a pavilion on the left. A figure jumped down from the pavilion directly in front of her. It was a young man in black training clothes, holding an umbrella. Luo Feng carefully observed this youth, who was praised by Yang Hui. This youth was slightly shorter than Luo Feng by a bit, around 1.7 meters. Even though his entire body was skinny, he gave off a strong feeling. It was as if his entire body was made of steel. His eyes were reserved, but the occasional glint in them was frightening. He's Shi Jiang, Luo Feng silently remembered. A new student? An excited voice jumped down from upstairs. Zhao Ruo held her umbrella and looked at Luo Feng excitedly. Luo Feng also observed this senior sister. This senior sister named Zhao Ruo had short hair and a petite body. The only flaws were her dark skin and small eyes. That was why Zhao Ruo was not considered a beauty. His name is Luo Feng. From today onwards, he'll be staying with you guys in Jiangnan Pagoda. Yang Hui laughed. Sure, Jiang, Zhao Ruo, you guys are seniors. Luo Feng just arrived, so you guys have to take care of him. Don't worry, leave it to me. Zhao Ruo patted her chest. With this senior sister here, I won't let him suffer. Okay, then I'll leave first. Yang Hui smiled and patted Luo Feng's shoulder before leaving. Jiang and Pagoda had a total of 3 buildings. The one in the center was Shi Zhang's residence, and the one on the left, which was the west, was Zhao Ruo's residence. Naturally, Luo Feng lived in the east building. Luo Feng, sit. Zhao Ruo was extremely passionate. Right now, she, Luo Feng, and Shi Zhang were all in the living room of Zhao Ruo's residence. I came here in year 55. Senior Shi Zhang came in year 53. Both of them came way earlier than you, laughed Zhao Ruo. Zhao Ruo said with a smile. Shi Zhang also smiled. 53, 55, 57. The 3 of us happen to be separated by 2 years, and we're all from Jiangnan headquarters city. This is also a rare fate. When Shi Zhang opened his mouth, Luo Feng felt that Shi Zhang's voice was heavy and calm. I'm from Jiangnan headquarters city's Su City. Senior Shi Zhang is from the main city sector. Luo Feng, what about you? Asked Zhao Ruo. Yangzhou City, said Luo Feng. Shi Zhang laughed in surprise. My grandpa is in Yangzhou City. These 3 also came from Jiangnan headquarters city. However, Shi Zhang and Zhao Ruo, one passed the basics training camp and then competed to enter the elite training camp. The other was originally an elite of the government army and then was sent here. Only Luo Feng was directly picked from the regular fighters. Luo Feng, when you return to your room in a bit, open the laptop that the training camp gave you, Shi Zhang reminded. There's an e-book student notice in this laptop. Read it carefully. Yes, that thing is very important, Zhao Ruoyan said. Especially the points, Zhao Ruoyan reminded. In the training camp, the points ranking is the most important. You should have seen the Black Dragon ranking at the door, right? I saw. Luo Feng nodded. There was only one Chinese name in the top 3. The Black Dragon ranking is the point ranking. The higher the score, the higher the ranking. The 1st to 28th of every month was the time to earn points. On the 29th of every month, the final ranking of the month would be calculated. By the next month, everyone's points would be cleared and returned to 0. We need to work hard to earn more points and fight for a higher ranking, Zhao Ruo explained. Luo Feng realized. It turned out that there would be a round of ranking every month. Senior, where did these points come from? Asked Luo Feng. Points are battle points multiplied by battle ability amplifier, explained Zhao Ruo. For example, you'll be fighting for a higher ranking in April. If you have 2,000 battle points from April 1st to 28th, and your battle ability amplifier is 1. 8, then your points would be 2,000 times 1. 8, which is 3,600 points. You'll be ranked according to your points. Luo Feng was even more confused after hearing this. What were these battle points and battle ability amplitudes? Battle points are obtained by hunting monsters. As for the details, you'll know when you go back and read the ebook student notice, explained Zhao Ruo. As for the battle ability amplifier, it's determined in the virtual space. As for the details, you'll know when you go back and read the student notice. Luo Feng blinked helplessly. He has to read the student notice himself. Luo Feng. Shi Zhang finally spoke. Senior, Luo Feng looked towards Shi Zhang. Remember, if you want to increase your strength quickly in the training camp, you have to work hard to increase your ranking every month. The higher the ranking, the better, Shi Zhang said solemnly. This ranking is also related to the various resources that can be obtained. Some resources are something even war gods desire. This is why many students who have reached the war god level still stay here, Zhao Ruo pouted on the side. For example, our senior Shi Zhang was speechless. Zhao Ruo covered her mouth and laughed. Luo Feng also laughed. Jiangnan Pagoda, Luo Feng study. The laptop was just turned on, and Luo Feng was sitting on a chair, carefully reading the student notice. Training rooms? Challenge rooms? Gravity rooms? These 3 training rooms were all built from the remains of the ancient civilization. As he read, Luo Feng learned more and more about the training camp. There were indeed many pieces of equipment in the training camp, but of course, the most valuable ones were the archaeological ruins. And the most important thing in the training camp is ranking. Ranking affects a lot of things. For example, the ancient gravity room in the ancient civilization ruins. Although there were replicas of the gravity room on Earth, the effect on martial artists was far from that ancient equipment. However, there's only one training room in the entire training camp. Who's going to use it? That depends on the ranking. The higher the ranking, the more time you get. And that's just one of the reasons. If you are ranked first every month for 9 consecutive times, you will be able to obtain a portion of dragon blood worth 80 billion. You will also be able to choose any 3 complete manuals for free. You will also be able to choose Hong or Thunder God as your teacher and become their direct disciple. If you are ranked first every month for 6 consecutive times, you will receive a drop of chalcedony worth 30 billion. You will also be able to choose any complete set of manuals for free, and you will also receive a chance to receive personal guidance from Hong or Thunder God. Luo Feng was speechless as he read the description on the electronic book. Dragon Blood? Become Hong's or Thunder God's direct disciple. And it's a choice. The disciple chooses the teacher. Any 3 complete instruction manuals? Keep in mind that the price of an ultimate instruction manual is terrifying. Insane. But these rewards are all for first place, and you have to get first 9 times. Luo Feng continued reading. Fist Strength Level 6. Receive 1 portion of Dragon Blood worth 80 billion, SS Grade Battle Uniform, and a full set of weapons. Fist Strength Level 5. Receive. Luo Feng was a bit stunned as he looked at the long list of rewards. Tower of Trials Level 5. Receive the position of Investigator in the Dojo of Limits. Receive 1 portion of Dragon Blood worth 80 billion, SS Grade Battle Uniform, a full set of weapons, any 3 complete instruction manuals, and a set of Black God from the archaeological ruins. The Tower of Trials level rewards are clearly the highest. Patrol Inspector. Logically speaking, that's a position that can only be obtained by an existence surpassing the War God level. And a set of Black God from the archaeological ruins? What the hell? As long as I reach the Tower of Trials level 5, I can get anything I want? I don't need anything? Luo Feng's heart couldn't help but to speed up. However, when he thought about the B-grade exam in the Tower of Trials, he felt a huge amount of pressure. He was only on the 1st floor, and he already met 100 low-level commander-level Raging Bulls. And this probably isn't even the hardest part of the 1st floor. There's still the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors. Even the experienced War God, Yang Hui, only made it to the 3rd floor. The world's strongest fighter Hong only made it to the 6th floor. The difficulty of making it to the 5th floor is obvious. No wonder the benefits offered were so frightening. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 117. Tower of Trials Level 5 allows you to obtain the position of Investigator in the Dojo of Limits. Luo Feng couldn't help but to look at it carefully again. An archaeological ruins Black God set. What is this Black God set? Envious. Can't help but be envious. Even a country's army has to be careful with an investigator. In other words, if you can make it to the 5th floor of the Tower of Trials, your position on Earth will skyrocket. Not only that, but he would also be able to obtain the mysterious Black God set that seemed to have come from the ruins of the ancient civilization. Even though Luo Feng doesn't understand, he can guess that it's something good. Soon enough, Luo Feng finished reading the entire student handbook. From there, Luo Feng realized that the 3 most important things in the training camp were Tower of Trials level, Fist Strength level, and Black Dragon ranking. So that's how I get my points. Points are equal to battle points multiplied by battle ability amplifier. And battle points are very simple. There's only one way to get them. hunting monsters. A low-level commander-level monster is worth 1 battle point. A medium-level commander-level monster is worth 10 battle points. A high-level commander-level monster is worth 100 battle points. A low-level horde leader-level monster is worth 1,000 battle points. Of course, in the elite training camp, even if you have the strength to kill a low-level horde leader-level monster, not many would be stupid enough to actually do so. After all, once you kill 2 low-level horde leaders, your strength rating will be war god level, and you'll have to graduate and leave the training camp. Not many students are willing to leave early, and battle ability amplifier is very simple. It's just the fist strength level multiplied by the Tower of Trials level. For example, a certain person has 1,000 battle points, fist strength level 1, 5, and Tower of Trials level 2. Then his combat ability amplifier would be 3. Points are 1,000 times 3, which is 3,000 points. The training camp really cares about fist strength level and Tower of Trials level. If the battle ability amplifier is a bit bigger, my points will increase by a lot. After Luo Feng finished reading the student handbook, he pulled out a few video tutorials from the training camp's laptop. Even though the training camp has quite a few powerful war gods teaching classes, the training camp is very clear that these geniuses have weird personalities. But the training camp knew very well that these peerless geniuses had strange temperaments, so it was unlikely that all of them would attend classes obediently. That was why there were instructional videos. Every student's laptop had a copy of the video recording of every lesson. Of course, during a real lesson, you can ask the teacher directly and have the teacher personally guide you and answer your questions. The effect would definitely be better than watching educational videos. However, I've never attended any of those war gods classes. Let's look at these videos. Luo Feng carefully looked at the contents of the folder. The list clearly separated the videos into Dao Yin technique, force exertion, blade technique, sword technique, spear technique, staff technique, hammer technique. And Luo Feng's biggest assets right now are 3. 1 is his spiritual force, 1 is his advanced Ru Wei level technique, and 1 is his ability to instantly explode with 2. 8 times his body strength. Let's see the movement technique first. Luo Feng opened a video and started watching. As for the realm of movement techniques, they were also divided into basic level, subtlety level, perfection level, and conception level. For these 4 levels, Luo Feng opened up quite a few videos. The main focus was on the Ru Wei level. As for the perfect level, it was clear that these teachers would have a hard time explaining it in detail. This required comprehension and was very difficult to teach. As for the level of intent, it was even more indescribable. 4:35 p.m. Luo Feng was still sitting in front of his laptop as he watched a video on how to exert force. Teacher, when my fist explodes, it can reach 8 times my normal strength. However, when my legs explode, it can only reach 5 times my normal strength. Teacher, you said before that when you exert force from your legs, it should be the same as when you exert force from your fists. Why can't I do it? Asked a black youth in the video. Luo Feng changed the language of the video to Chinese, so naturally he could understand it. In the video, a white brute smiled as he said, "You'll have to experience this yourself. Carefully think about how you exert force with your arms and fists, then go back and study how to exert force with your legs. You can already do 5 times, which means you've improved. You'll have to rely on yourself from now on. Teacher can only point the way." Boom! Luo Feng, who was in front of the laptop, felt like he was struck by lightning. He blankly sat in front of the computer with his eyes wide open. After that, he let out an expression of ecstasy. He fiercely smacked his head and jumped up. "I'm such an idiot. So stupid, so stupid. I didn't even think of such a simple thing. Holy sh*t, I didn't even realize this problem. Yeah, if my arms and fists can exert force, then my legs can naturally exert force too." Luo Feng's body was slightly shaking. "Through the 9-stage Thunderblade, my strength can reach 8 times my normal strength. However, my running speed has always been the speed of a beginner-level warlord. I didn't think that since I can transfer it to my arms, then naturally I can transfer it to my legs too." Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This logic is simple. After a powerful fighter has exquisite control over his strength, if his fists can exert force, then his legs can too. However, Luo Feng couldn't connect the dots even after all this time. Normal fighters aren't spirit readers, so they can't use their spiritual force to speed up their bodies. Then, if a fighter who trains in the 9-stage Thunderblade has strong attack power, then how can he fight above his level? If he's slow, then how can he fight above his level? A beginner-level warlord probably can't even keep up with an advanced-level warlord's shadow. Luo Feng was able to fight above his level because of his spiritual force. I'm stupid, the 9-stage Thunderblade can be used on the arms, but it can also be used on the legs. This way, the strength of my legs will increase, and my speed will increase. Speed and strength have to be able to keep up. Only then can we fight those of a higher level. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. Right now, my explosive strength has reached 8 times. In other words, my legs can also reach 8 times. My speed will probably be close to doubling. For a true fighter, speed is more important than strength. If you're much faster than your opponent, you can completely toy with them. Speed. I need to be faster. Luo Feng couldn't be bothered to watch the video anymore. He closed his notebook and rushed downstairs. Every student's building has an underground room. The walls of these rooms are all made of Luo alloy, so students can do whatever they want. In the underground room of Luo Feng's building, after turning on the lights shone through the holes in the alloy steel, causing the entire underground room to be bright. The underground room was around 5 meters tall, 5 meters long, and 5 meters wide. The walls and floor were all dark green. Clearly, this alloy wasn't pure Luo alloy. There were other materials mixed in. On the alloy floor and walls, there were slight dents from fists and footprints. These were all left behind by the past students. Luo Feng ferociously rushed forward. Dark energy continuously poured into his fist, and he directly punched the alloy wall. Boom! At the end of February, Luo Feng's fist strength neared 10,000 kilograms. And now, it's already the end of March. In this month, Luo Feng's fist strength has grown by quite a bit, reaching 11,500 kilograms. Clearly, his improvement is much faster than in the past few months. Under his 8x power, his fist strength is over 30,000 kilograms. In other words, his fist strength is over 30 tons. The alloy wall slightly shook, and a faint fist mark that was almost 1 centimeter deep appeared. Clearly, compared to the seniors who used to live here, Luo Feng's current strength is still quite weak. Those seniors probably had the strength of a war god back then. Let's see the explosive strength of my legs. Luo Feng began to try out the 9-stage Thunderblade. First, try out the first stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade. On top of the original strength, he released an additional dark energy. Pu. Luo Feng's right leg turned into a blur as it continuously kicked in the air. I feel it, yeah, release the strength just like this. With Luo Feng's 9-stage Thunderblade, he can easily increase his leg's explosive strength to 1. For X. After that, Luo Feng started sprinting back and forth, dodging left and right, etc., and started his rapid technique training. Keep in mind that during a battle, your body constantly changes directions. To explode with 4x power time and time again is much harder than just exploding once. 20 minutes later, Luo Feng's legs are completely used to exploding with 4x power. When Luo Feng uses his blade technique, he can explode with 8x power time and time again. Right now, he's just using the same experience to explode with his legs. All he needs is time to get used to it. Next is the second stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade. He wants to increase his legs' explosive strength to 1x. Luo Feng, you're working too hard, going into the underground room to train on the first day. Hurry up and get ready. It's almost 8 p.m. Tonight, our Huaxia senior brothers and junior sisters are holding a banquet to welcome you. Senior sister Zhao Rua's voice came from outside. In the underground room, Luo Feng, whose body was completely drenched in sweat, stopped with a face full of excitement. It's almost 8 p.m. I entered the underground room around 4 p.m. I didn't think that 3 hours would have passed. Luo Feng was extremely happy. 3 hours? Luo Feng was overjoyed. After 3 hours, my legs are more or less healed. I can continuously dodge and move horizontally and explode with 1x strength. As for 8x, I'll probably need some more time. Luo Feng immediately rushed out of the underground room. Senior, I'm going to take a shower and change my clothes. I'll be right back. Luo Feng waved his hand. The rain had already stopped. Shi Jiang and Zhao Ruo couldn't help but to shake their heads and laugh when they saw the sweaty Luo Feng. This Luo Feng sure is working hard. Shi Jiang laughed as he complimented. He is. Even though the banquet starts at 8 p.m., this guy stayed in the underground room and trained until 7:30, said Zhao Ruo helplessly. However, she wasn't surprised. Almost everyone in the elite training camp is working hard. However, only a few extremely hardworking students go into the underground room to train on the first day. After taking a shower and changing into some dry, casual clothes, Luo Feng stood in front of the mirror in the bathroom with a face full of smiles. Mirror, mirror. I'm sure that after I reach 8x power, my speed will also double. With this increase in speed, where can I go in the Tower of Trials? Double speed? What kind of concept is that? The increase in strength is too scary. If Luo Feng took the B-grade exam, his speed would have doubled. Along with his Ru Wei level of perfection and his technique that's almost at the threshold of the perfect level, Luo Feng easily took care of those 100 raging bulls. Time to go to the banquet. I'll meet the geniuses of China. Luo Feng smiled towards the mirror and then swiftly went downstairs. He left Jiangnan Pagoda with his senior, Shi Jiang, and senior, Zhao Ruo, and went to the Chinese gathering in the training camp. P.S. 2 chapters completed. At the same time, let out a loud roar. Come, get your monthly votes. Yep, everyone's monthly votes can be sent to Tomato through the tab below. Chapter 118. 8 p.m. On the second floor of cafeteria number 1 of the elite training camp, 21 students from China gathered here to welcome Luo Feng's arrival. Only when you're in a foreign country will you feel closer to your fellow countrymen. Quite a few seniors enthusiastically chatted and drank with Luo Feng. 1 hour later. Phew, they finally let me go. Luo Feng held a glass of wine as he stood in the corner. This banquet was prepared for you. You're the main character today, so of course everyone wants to drink and chat with you. Zhao Ruo's face was slightly red. Zhao Ruo's face slightly blushed. Under the illumination of the hall's lights, there was a hint of womanly charm, and Luo Feng, Senior Chu Chong, paid for tonight's banquet. Do you know how much this banquet cost? Luo Feng shook his head. These dishes are all extremely delicious. I really can't guess the price. But even if it's expensive, it should be around $1 million Chinese dollars, right? How expensive can food and drinks be? $1 million? What a joke. Zhao Ruo lowered her voice. The chefs in the elite training camp are the best in the world. Moreover, the ingredients used for these dishes are all taken from some of the most powerful monsters in the world. Just this banquet, for 21 people, the food will cost at least tens of millions. Luo Feng blinked twice. Don't think it's too expensive. If you were anywhere else in the world, you wouldn't be able to eat even if you had money. Zhao Ruo shook her head. However, this amount of money is nothing to Senior Chu Chong. In our training camp, any student that can rank in the top 10, as long as they're willing to join an organization, they'll definitely receive large amounts of money. Chu Chong joined an organization? Luo Feng asked in shock. When he came yesterday, Chu Chong was ranked 2nd on the Black Dragon ranking. To be able to rank 2nd in the elite training camp, even if it's temporary, is quite scary. Chu Chong was roped in by our Chinese army. Everyone knew about this a year ago. Zhao Ruo lowered her voice, and I heard that the Dojo of Limits is also roping in Chu Chong. Zhao Ruo said in a low voice, and I heard that the Dojo of Limits is also trying to rope in Chu Chong. There are even a few organizations in China that are trying to recruit him. Rumor has it that the army specially set up an action department for Chu Chang. After Chu Chang graduates, he'll be the boss of this division. Luo Feng was shocked. The country's army created a special division just to welcome Chu Chang? It can't be helped. Chu Chang is indeed powerful. Zhao Ruo exclaimed. He is one of the top 5 in the training camp. In terms of strength, there are 10 people who could be ranked in the top 5. However, there are only 1 or 2 who can stay in the top 5 of the Black Dragon rankings for a long time. Luo Feng nodded, expressing his understanding. The Black Dragon leaderboard was ranked according to points. Although one's strength was strong, one's ranking would be very high. However, the ranking could not possibly show a person's strength 100%. This month, I made it to the top 5. Next month, another person with similar strength might make it to the top 5. Everyone's strength is relatively close. That was why it was said that 10 people were qualified to be in the top 5. To be able to stay in the top 5 for a long period of time was terrifying. The government and the army must give Chu Chang a large sum of money every year. Zhao Ruo sighed. In our training camp, there are 3 types of people who are the richest. The first type are people like Chu Chang, who are strong and have joined a special organization. The second type was to join a core family of the HR Alliance. The third is a spirit reader. However, the second type of person joining the core families of the HR Alliance is very stupid. Although those families were rich in terms of background and influence, how could they compare to the National Army? How could they compare to the dojo of Limits or the Thunder Dojo? The third type, spirit readers. Sigh, there's no other way. They use their spiritual force to control hidden weapons and kill monsters like harvesting crops. Hunting monsters every day for materials is very scary. Just by relying on this, they earn money at a frightening rate. The speed at which a spirit reader earns money is comparable to the 10 of us. Luo Feng laughed. He's a spirit reader himself, so of course he knew how fast spirit readers earn money. An intermediate level warlord, like Gao Feng, only earns 200 to 300 million a year. And an advanced level warlord fighter earning 1 billion a year is pretty good. And Luo Feng, an advanced level warlord level spirit reader, earning close to 10 billion a year isn't strange at all. He's even stronger than a beginner level war god. An advanced level warlord level spirit reader, in terms of strength, is comparable to a beginner level war god. Along with the peculiarity of the spiritual force, their efficiency in killing monsters is even higher. These 3 types of people are the richest in our training camp, muttered Zhao Ruo. Luo Feng, a clear voice rang. Luo Feng and Zhao Ruo turned their heads and saw a tall youth with a chiseled face walk over. It's the famous figure of the elite training camp, Chu Chang. Senior Chu Chang laughed Zhao Ruo as she yelled, "You guys chat," and then obediently left. Luo Feng and Chu Chang stood in a corner. Luo Feng. Chu Chang looked at the other people in the distance and lowered his voice. "Our Chinese military is very interested in you. I wonder if you're interested in joining the military?" Military? Luo Feng froze. He just joined the elite training camp, and they're already trying to recruit him? Yeah. Chu Chang drank a mouthful of alcohol. Don't worry, the military isn't stingy when it comes to talents. After you graduate, your treatment in the military will depend on your strength. Of course, it'll depend on your strength. When the time comes, the stronger you are, the better your treatment will be. As for the details, we can slowly discuss it later. And if you agree to join, then, for the 5 years you're in the training camp, the military will provide you with 5 billion every year. Luo Feng's heart slightly sped up. 5 billion? If you're not a spirit reader, a normal fighter won't be able to kill a low-level horde leader monster. For example, a beginner-level war god will have a hard time successfully killing a low-level horde leader monster. So a beginner-level war god earning 5 billion a year is already pretty good. Moreover, war gods' expenses were frighteningly high. So most war gods were short of money. Dragon blood, elixir of life, SS gray battle uniform, etc. Which one of them isn't expensive? Most war gods can't afford it either. For example, the battle uniform Luo Feng received from the steel armored dragons, Nest only had an SS grade vest. Clearly, That dead war god couldn't afford the entire set. He only bought the most important vest. Senior, I just entered the training camp. I don't plan on joining any organization. Let's talk about it in a few years, said Luo Feng. Oh, Shu Chan was a bit surprised. All right, you're right. These 5 years are the most important years for you to improve your strength. If you want to join the Chinese military, just let me know. That night, Luo Feng received a total of 6 invitations. 3 of them came from within China. Only after receiving these invitations did Luo Feng realize that other than the military, there are other special departments in China. However, in comparison, the military has a stronger background. The other 3 invitations came from 2 core families of the HR Alliance and a mercenary group called the Flame Legion. There are quite a few mercenary groups on Earth. However, most of them are average in strength, but some of them are extremely powerful. Hong and Thunder God can each take over a headquarters city and spread their dojos all over the world. Their power isn't any weaker than a powerful country. They can be said to be 2 great warlords. And on Earth, there are other ambitious people who want to establish their own power and become a lord. For example, the Flame Legion was created by 2 existences surpassing the war god level. Even among mercenaries, they are extremely powerful. They were even invited by quite a few headquarters cities in Africa to help them. However, Luo Feng rejected all 6 invitations. March 30th morning, the temperature was low. Quite a few students were running or walking in the training camp. Luo Feng was one of them. Luo Feng. As he was walking on the stone path, Luo Feng, who was wearing a black dojo uniform, stopped in shock and turned his head to look. He saw a slightly curly blonde-haired youth smiling as he walked over. His slightly awkward Mandarin made people think that he was a foreigner speaking Mandarin. "My name is William Edison, from the EU," said the blonde-haired youth passionately. "William?" Luo Feng muttered to himself. This name is just like Russia's Alexander, America's David, and China's Wang Wei and Zhang Wei. They are all names that couldn't be more familiar. "William?" "Hello," Luo Feng smiled as he said. "I've always been curious about China," said the blonde-haired youth passionately. "And in the training camp, there are many geniuses in China. And Luo Feng, you're called in alone. I really want to spar with you and compare notes. I wonder if Luo Feng can satisfy this request of mine." Luo Feng froze. "Spar? Yeah. Can we spar in the challenge room?" said the blonde-haired youth, William passionately. Challenge room? In Luo Feng's mind, the contents of the student notice immediately appeared. This challenge room is a product of the archaeological ruins. After entering the challenge room, the 2 of them will put on their consciousness sensors and enter the virtual space. Then, they will have a battle to the death in the virtual space. Usually, these kinds of battles will have bets. Let's not bet big. How about 1 billion Chinese dollars? The blonde-haired youth, William's smile became even brighter and more passionate. "William!" A delicate yell rang. Luo Feng turned his head and saw that Zhao Ruo, who was wearing a purple dojo uniform, had an angry expression on her face as she yelled, "William, you're too shameless. Luo Feng is just a newbie and he's betting against you in the challenge room. I'm afraid he's giving you money. You bunch of filthy bastards. In March, you secretly found a few newbies and made them bet against you and lose money to you. If you can, bet against me. Miss Zhao Ruo, this has nothing to do with you. I believe that Luo Feng is very strong. Maybe I'll lose to him." William looked towards Luo Feng. Zhao Ruo also looked towards Luo Feng. "Luo Feng, don't trust this foreigner. Some people in the training camp are quite sneaky. They especially bully the newbies. They don't dare to bully them openly, so they bet against the newbies. And the newbies almost always lose. Only after losing do the newbies know how strong the seniors are. This foreigner's battle ability amplifier is medium. Even though it's not high, it's not low either. Newbies usually aren't his match. It's just 1 billion. The blonde youth, William, looked towards Luo Feng. Any random organization would earn you more than this amount of money. Luo Feng completely understood what happened. Some people in the training camp took advantage of the fact that the newbies didn't understand the rules and passionately dragged them to bet against each other to earn a lot of money. It's William. A Chinese youth ran over. This Chinese youth is called Jiang Chun. Luo Feng already knew him from last night's banquet. Luo Feng, don't bet against him. This guy is very sneaky. I just joined the training camp on March 1st and was tricked by this guy into going to the challenge room on the first day. He earned a lot of money, fuck. William's expression didn't look too good. He was looking for an opportunity to see Luo Feng alone, but he didn't expect to be ruined by so many people. Sure, you want to bet? Sure, Luo Feng smiled as he looked at him. Luo Feng, Zhao Ruo, and Jiang Chun were both shocked. Oh, William let out a surprised expression. Luo Feng, let's set a time, but 1 billion is too small. I'm not interested. How about a bit bigger? 5 billion. Luo Feng glanced at William. If you dare to play, then play. If you don't, then forget it. Zhao Ruo and Jiang Chun opened their eyes wide. 5 billion? William froze as well. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 119. A beginner-level war god can only earn 5 billion after working hard for a year. Even though these geniuses in the elite training camp all have limitless futures, they receive quite a bit of money from various organizations. However, 5 billion is still a relatively large sum of money. In the training camp, normal spirit readers and top-ranked students bet against each other for such a large sum of money. Of course, there are also unexpected situations. If both sides fight for a moment of pride, the bet might be huge. 5 billion. William squinted his eyes and carefully looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, Zhao Ruo, and Jiang Chun both looked at Luo Feng in shock. Never mind if you don't dare. Luo Feng shook his head. Senior Zhao Ruo, Jiang Chun, let's go. Zhao Ruo and Jiang Chun also came to their senses and immediately smiled as they followed Luo Feng. Jiang Chun laughed coldly as he looked at William. William made a lot of money out of him. Luo Feng was about to leave. Wait, William yelled. What? You dare to bet? Luo Feng looked at William. 5 billion. I won't bet if it's any lower, all right? 5 billion, I'll bet with you. Even though William's Mandarin was indecipherable, his eyes clearly showed that he was going all out. All right, great. Luo Feng laughed. Tell me the time. William was confident. Tomorrow, said Luo Feng. There's no way to tell the exact time. Since there's only one challenge room, it might be occupied by other students. So you have to wait for the computer system to confirm the exact time. All right. William rubbed his nose, smiled, turned around, and left. Jiangnan Pagoda. Even Senior Shi Jiang, who went to the 9 grand floors to train, immediately rushed back to Jiangnan Pagoda after hearing the news. No matter what, Shi Jiang, Zhao Ruo, and Luo Feng are all from China's Jiangnan headquarters city. They're also from Jiangnan, and they entered the training camp before Luo Feng, so they're older. Naturally, they'll help Luo Feng. Luo Feng, Zhao Ruo, was a bit angry. How could you bet with him? Do you think you're a genius fighter? You're very strong. You've never met anyone your age who's stronger than you, so you're very confident? You're blind, Zhao Ruo said angrily. Many people who just entered the training camp have been tricked by the older students. Most of them lose. You're a genius among geniuses, but you're in this training camp. Which one of them was not a genius among geniuses? Moreover, they have been studying in the training camp for a long time. All right, Zhao Ruo, Shi Jiang said. Senior sister, Zhao Ruo. Luo Feng smiled as he poured tea. Don't be angry, right? You said that William, his battle ability amplifier is medium, right? Yes. Zhao Ruo was startled. Looks like Luo Feng was prepared. Shi Jiang looked at Luo Feng with shock. Because in a life and death battle in the virtual space, the two people's physical qualities were exactly the same. Therefore, at this time, it depended on the person's fist strength, speed, movement technique, and other factors. The battle prowess amplifier was equal to the fist strength level multiplied by the tower of trial level. Among them, a combat power amplifier of 1 to 2 was considered elementary. Most of the students who had just entered the elite training camp were beginners. A battle prowess amplifier of 2 to 4 was average. In the elite training camp, after a year and a half of training, one would generally be able to step into the intermediate level. The one called William was an average one. A battle power amplifier of 4 to 8 was considered high. He was considered a qualified student of the elite training camp. A combat ability amplifier of 8 to 16 was excellent. This was the standard for an outstanding student in the training camp. Because the range of 8 to 16 was relatively large, even if they were both excellent, there would be a huge difference in strength. Those with a combat power amplifier greater than 16 were special class. It was also known as superior grade. Even the strongest people in the world, Hong and God of Thunder, would fight to take him as their disciple. All the powerful countries and organizations in the world would be willing to pay a huge price to invite such a peerless talent. It's all right. Luo Feng laughed. It's good that you're confident. Sure, Jiang hammered Luo Feng's chest and encouraged, let that William know that us Chinese aren't so easily taken advantage of. And, senior brother, senior sister, I'm going to cultivate first. There's no helping it. Now that the 5 billion bet is involved, the pressure is huge, Luo Feng purposely said. Pressure my ass. Zhao Ruo snorted. Previously you said 1 billion is too low, and 5 billion. I won't play if it's too low. That tone of voice, T-K. It's called bullsh asterisk T. Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Zhao Ruo's words. How is this Zhao Ruo like a woman? Luo Feng immediately said, senior brother, senior sister, you guys go after saying that. Luo Feng immediately returned to his living quarters. And on the 30th, other than eating, Luo Feng did his speed training in his underground room. He started training in the morning until around 7 p.m. Only with the third stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade can he unleash 8x his explosive power through his feet. With the third stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade, Luo Feng doesn't even use his spiritual force. His speed is already comparable to a fighter who just stepped into the advanced level warlord level. 8 p.m. Luo Feng, who just finished showering, was wearing a bathrobe as he sat in front of his laptop. This guy called William has a battle ability amplifier of the middle level, which is 2. 4. And me? My punching force level should be 2. 8. Even though he didn't test it in the training camp, this so-called fist strength level refers to how much more explosive power you can unleash on top of your original strength. Since he can unleash 8x, his fist strength level is 8. As for the Tower of Trials level, according to the exchange of many students in the elite training camp's internal forum, he had killed 100 Raging Bulls by himself. This was the first level of the Tower of Trials B-grade trial. If he had succeeded, his trial level would be 1/6. My trial level is definitely higher than 1/6. However, just by multiplying 8 by 1/6, my battle ability amplifier is over 4. He's bullying me for my lack of experience. Even though I haven't been in the wilderness for long, the amount of monsters I've killed is something that other fighters can't even compare to in their entire lives. Luo Feng opened his mailbox. This laptop was specially prepared for the training camp, and it was also connected to the training camp's internal network. There was a document in his mailbox. Challenge letter? This challenge letter was sent after the training camp's computer system received William's challenge request. Accept, Luo Feng replied. Just replying to this email isn't enough. He still has to transfer 5 billion Chinese dollars to the challenge system's special account. Only when William and Luo Feng, the two of them, put their money into this special account will the challenge be accepted. Only then will Luo Feng and William have the right to enter the challenge room. For the winner, these two sums of money will be directly transferred to the winner's account. Isn't it just 5 billion? Luo Feng directly transferred 5 billion from his anonymous Swiss bank account into the training camp special account. In the past, I was cautious and didn't dare to use this money. However, now that I've entered the training camp, which one of the organizations that invited me didn't give me an astronomical amount of money, Luo Feng wasn't worried that after he wins, the money would be transferred to his normal account, which would raise Vulture Scorpion's suspicions. There's no way they would be suspicious. It's normal for a student of the elite training camp to have over 10 billion in their account. A mail arrived. Luo Feng opened it. So efficient, it's out so quickly. March 31st, 11:15 a.m. In another building, a few white youths were gathered together. His money has already been transferred. The time is tomorrow 11:15 a.m., said William and Edison. William and Edison said. A tall and skinny blonde youth couldn't help but say, William, you were too careless this time. That's 5 billion yuan. I feel like it's a little dangerous this time. Candace, what are you worried about? William's gaze was cold. This time, I will definitely win. You have a good chance of winning. The blonde youth named Candace nodded. If this guy named Luo Feng's strength far surpasses the new recruits of the elite training camp, he would have been recruited a long time ago and wouldn't have waited until today. This means that his strength isn't much stronger than the average rookie. But he dares to say 5 billion. Candace's eyebrows furrowed together like two sharp swords. I still think you have to be careful. Candace, you're the #1 heir of the Paulinus family. You don't have to care so much about a bet of 5 billion, and it's only in Chinese currency, not euros, a brown-haired girl said with a smile. EU's William and Edison, challenging China's newbie Luo Feng. The bet was 5 billion yuan. The news spread like a whirlwind throughout the training camp. A bet of 5 billion, and yet another act of bullying a rookie. Due to these two reasons, many students came to the 9-story building on the 31st, March 31st, 11:10 noon. 9-story building, 9th floor. Around 40 to 50 people were gathered here. Some were from the EU, some were from America, some were from China, some were from Russia. Basically, all 6 big factions had people here. Even the other new students who just joined the training camp this year rushed over. Some of them have been taken advantage of before. 5 billion Chinese dollars. Isn't that around 40 billion rubles? What a big bet. I wonder if William or that rookie will win. 2 white youths with big noses were muttering. From their language and looks, you could tell that they were from Russia. Among the major currencies in the world, 1 Earth dollar is equal to 5 Chinese dollars, which is equal to 30 rubles. William and Edison, Luo Feng, enter the challenge room. An electronic voice echoed around the lobby of the 9th floor. Luo Feng and William exchanged glances and walked towards the challenge room. William, beat that kid, yelled Candace and Paulinus. Luo Feng, beat him to death. If you win, Senior will personally cook, yelled Zhao Ruo. Zhao Ruo also shouted. Many students were cheering. This battle was not only a battle between the veterans and the newcomers, but also a confrontation between the European Union faction and the Huaxia faction. In the training camp, the competition between students is quite intense. After opening the door to the challenge room, Luo Feng and William walked in. Luo Feng scanned the room. The layout of the challenge room was almost exactly the same as the training room. There were also 2 sofas and 2 dark blue helmets. Luo Feng, thank you for giving me 5 billion inch, smiled William as he laid on the sofa. I hope you won't cry later. Luo Feng also laid on the sofa. Whoosh. The 2 of them put on their dark blue helmets at practically the same time. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 120. On the boundless silver alloy ground, there was only one structure. The arena. Whoosh. Whoosh. A yellow-skinned youth and a white-skinned youth appeared in the arena out of nowhere. They were precisely Luo Feng and William. Please select your weapon and battle uniform. A loud voice echoed across the sky and earth. At the same time, large amounts of weapons and equipment appeared in front of Luo Feng's eyes. Just like the time outside the Tower of Trials, Luo Feng skillfully chose his ghost blade, hexagonal shield, and battle uniform that suited his body. The 2 of them swiftly put them on. Oh! Luo Feng's gaze landed on the pillar of the arena. Words actually appeared on the pillar. Name, William and Edison. Gender, male identity. Elite training camp, official student battle ability amplifier. Medium. After looking at the others, Luo Feng turned his head and looked at the pillar beside him. It was almost exactly the same as the one that introduced William. Other than the name, the only difference was that the battle ability amplifier was beginner. Please select your battle setting. The virtual space's voice rang again. 8 maps appeared in front of Luo Feng and William's eyes. You choose. William slightly smiled. Just in case you lose and still feel unsatisfied, then. Gymnasium. Luo Feng randomly chose his battle setting. Gymnasium? William let out a shocked expression as he carefully looked at the Chinese youth in front of him. Is this guy really confident, or is he just too arrogant? Rumble. The sky and earth shook. Luo Feng and William's surroundings changed. In an instant, Luo Feng and William appeared in a gigantic gymnasium. The gymnasium was completely unobstructed. There were no obstructions. Around the gymnasium, there were enough stands for tens of thousands of spectators. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A blinding light lit up the entire gymnasium. In the entire gymnasium, there were only Luo Feng and William. Battle, begin! The electronic voice resounded in the gymnasium. William held a round shield in one hand and a long sword in the other as he confidently looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, I gave you a chance to choose a setting that benefits you. However, you chose this gymnasium with no obstructions. I'll let you know the true difference between a veteran of the elite training camp and a newbie like you. Come. Luo Feng slightly squinted. This would be his first opponent in the training camp. The corner of William's mouth slightly curled up. His body fiercely charged forward and instantly traversed a distance of nearly 50 meters. The tip of his long sword was like a ray of light that even caused ripples in the air. The tip of the sword directly pierced Luo Feng's forehead. At the same time, Luo Feng took a step back and swung his blade like lightning. Chi! The long sword in William's hand slightly tilted and rubbed against Luo Feng's ghost blade. After that, it stuck close to Luo Feng's blade, and with a horizontal slash, it sliced towards Luo Feng's neck. Whoosh! Luo Feng explosively retreated, simultaneously using his hexagonal shield to block. Wah! That long sword instantly drew an exquisite arc as it sliced horizontally. It actually went along the hexagonal shield in Luo Feng's left hand and slashed towards Luo Feng's right hand. Retreat! Luo Feng practically instantly retreated over 100 meters and directly jumped onto the stands. What, are you scared? William laughed loudly. With a round shield in one hand and a long sword in the other, he slowly walked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng, maybe you think that you're very strong among normal fighters. However, none of the old students in the elite training camp are as simple as you think they are. This time, you lost 5 billion. Consider it your tuition fee. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at his right hand. There was a white mark on the bracer of his right hand, and there was a wound on his upper arm. Fresh blood was already flowing out, but thankfully, the wound wasn't deep. His sword speed isn't considered fast, but in that short moment, I was actually completely suppressed. His successive moves were flawless, as if they were made by nature. One attack after another, all of them were attacks. Luo Feng couldn't help but to sweat as he squinted his eyes. I can only use speed to suppress him. William was still as calm as ever, as if he was a gentleman attending a banquet. Sword and blade techniques. Just being fast isn't enough. You have to be as smooth as flowing water and use all sorts of attacks to form a combination technique. William smiled. When I entered the elite training camp, all I had to do was practice my sword for over 5 hours a day. I only rested when my arm was in so much pain. You're still far from being able to beat me. William exerted force with his foot. Whoosh! He directly dashed towards the stance. Huh! Luo Feng's eyes widened, and the ghost blade in his hand rose to its maximum speed. Dark energy poured into the ghost blade, and ate you like a dreamy, cold light. Like lightning, it carried an undefeatable force and a speed that made people's hearts palpitate as it directly chopped towards William's head. Fast. This move could only be described with one word. Fast. Rumble. Dang, 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 dang. A series of crisp sounds rang out. The long sword in William's hand was like a willow branch as it clashed with Luo Feng's ghost blade. After that, William himself explosively retreated. Chi! A frightening crack appeared on the grandstand in front of them. The broken tiles and gravel shot out in all directions, smashing into some of the plastic chairs in the grandstand. What a fast blade! However, your blade technique's basics are quite average. William laughed loudly and jumped onto the stands again. William stepped on the plastic chairs on the stands and rushed over like a tornado. I admit that your blade technique is on a higher level than my blade technique. However, one man can defeat 10. You're too slow. Luo Feng's speed instantly exploded when William arrived in front of him. In terms of speed, Luo Feng is definitely 50% faster than William. They're not even on the same level anymore. Clearly, in terms of explosive power, William is much weaker than Luo Feng. Whoosh! Whoosh! These two humans, who were both moving at speeds of over 100 meters per second, became two phantoms. Especially one of the black phantoms, whose speed was clearly faster than the opponent's. Every time it slashed, there would be a sharp whistling sound that could be seen with the naked eye. One slash, and another slash, and another slash. Luo Feng relied on his speed to attack whenever he saw an opportunity. If there wasn't an opportunity, he would immediately dodge. And then another slash. Since in terms of blade technique, Luo Feng realized that he was far from William's level. Fuck! William roared. If you have the ability, come fight me in close combat. William was so angry that he spoke in English. Clearly, he was extremely angry. Luo Feng's way of fighting was very sneaky. He relied on his speed, his blade, and his power to bully people. He didn't fight in close combat at all. Fight in close combat? All right, I'll satisfy you. Luo Feng's voice resounded in the gymnasium. Luo Feng was still slashing at William's left side. Suddenly, Luo Feng continuously took 3 steps. These 3 steps could be said to be like a ghost, and he actually dodged William's sharp blade. William himself was extremely shocked. How is this possible? He only felt a shadow float past him. William knew that something was wrong, because Luo Feng had already disappeared from his field of vision. Poochie! A blade slashed across William's neck, and his head flew into the air. Pu! Fresh blood sprayed everywhere. William's body powerlessly fell down, and fresh blood dyed the already broken plastic chairs on the ground. Challenge, Luo Feng wins. The electronic voice resounded in the gymnasium. The entire gymnasium became blurry and completely disappeared. On the silver alloy ground, on the empty arena, Luo Feng and William both stood on it. Impossible, William stared deadly at Luo Feng. I can't lose. I was chosen to enter the elite training camp, and I've been training hard here for a year. In this year, I've been bitterly training my sword technique, my body strength, etc. My strength has increased by a lot. So how could I lose to a newbie like you? A loss is a loss, said Luo Feng. William clenched his fists tightly. If it was a normal spar, losing wouldn't be a big deal. But this time, many students were attracted over. If he lost, he would lose face and he would lose a huge amount of money, 5 billion Chinese dollars. Even William's heart would ache if he lost this huge amount of money. You've already lost. Luo Feng looked at William in front of him and couldn't help but to praise. I admit, in terms of sword technique and blade technique, you are indeed much higher than me, much higher. His speed and strength far surpass his opponent, but he just can't win. This is because his blade technique is indeed very simple. In the past, Luo Feng always thought that his blade technique wasn't bad, especially with the acceleration of his spiritual force. Indeed, he was able to slaughter everything in the wilderness. However, compared to William, who was also a genius, his blade technique can't compare to William's blade technique. William's blade technique was like the moving clouds and flowing water. One move after another, like waves after waves, directly forcing Luo Feng to retreat. Thankfully, Luo Feng was finally able to use his technique that touched the threshold of the perfect level. He already suppressed his opponent in speed, and with his ghostly technique, he naturally defeated him in one move. I can't even win against my opponent in both speed and strength. In the end, I still have to rely on my ghostly technique. Even though Luo Feng won, he wasn't too satisfied with himself. I lost. William clenched his teeth. If he knew that Luo Feng wasn't happy even after winning, he would probably be even more furious. Times 9 grand floors in the lobby of the 9th floor. Young men and women of all skin colors came from all over the world. Some of them were bald, some of them had braids, some of them were terrifyingly large, and some of them were extremely skinny. This group of genius fighters from all over the world were all waiting and discussing. That guy named Luo Feng will definitely know how big the difference is between a newbie and a veteran. Can't he just lose 1 billion? Why did he have to shout 5 billion? If he wants to give us money, why wouldn't we accept it? A few young men and women from the European Union laughed as they chatted. Students from all over the world were also chatting. However, it was clear that most of the people here believed that William would win, since almost all battles between veterans and newbies are won by the veterans. Only an extremely small number of times will a newbie win. Challenge Luo Feng wins. An electronic voice reverberated around the hall, creating an echo within the hall. Silence. Everyone in the lobby quieted down. What? A group of young men and women from the European Union all widened their eyes. Oh my God. A group of white and black men and women from the United States were also shocked. Over 40 billion rubles, won by that Luo Feng. A group of young men and women from Russia couldn't help but to exclaim. Since then, in the history of the training camp, another example of a newbie defeating a veteran has appeared. Luo Feng defeated William. Ka! The door to the challenge room opened. William, who had a terrible expression, and Luo Feng, who was holding his cell phone, walked out together. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 121. Today, Chapter 2. What are you looking at on your phone, junior brother? Zhao Ruo smiled and walked over. The other Chinese students also walked over. Oh, it's the bank's balance change notification, answered Luo Feng. When he said this, William's expression turned even uglier. Notice a balance change? TSK. Junior brother, you just entered the training camp, and you've already earned 5 billion. This is very rare in the history of the training camp. Junior brother, you have to treat us, and it has to be the best, Zhao Ruo said. The other Chinese students beside her also joined in. Of course, there's no problem. Luo Feng looked at Zhao Ruo with a weird expression. Senior, you said you would cook for me if I win this. Zhao Ruo, scratch your head. Junior sister Zhao Ruo, I also heard it clearly just now. That is indeed what you said. Shijiang also said seriously. Zhao Ruo frowned and looked at Shijiang. Senior apprentice brother, I didn't expect you to be so evil. Fine, I'll cook. In the hall on the 9th floor, a group of young men and women from the Huaxia faction were chatting merrily. However, the group of people from a European Union faction were not happy. They were chatting in English. One of them, a slightly petite brown-haired girl, could not help but complain. William, how could you lose to a newcomer? Your strength is not strong, but your swordsmanship is above average among those who entered the training camp in the same year as you. How could you lose? You were careless? No. William creased his eyebrows and shook his head. I tried my best. That Luo Feng's body is stronger than mine. Physical exertion? William, the tall and skinny blonde youth next to him, said, It's fine if we lose this time, but we can't let that Chinese kid take the 5 billion yuan so easily. When we get back, we'll think a way to make him spit it out. The blonde youth's voice was very low, and the others nodded. The training camp was like this. This time, you won a large sum of money from me. I will definitely think of a way to win it back. Even if I can't win, I'll ask my fellow villagers for help. Unless you were a coward and refused to fight. Luo Feng was in a good mood. Even though he didn't win cleanly this time, he found his weakness. This was a good thing. More importantly, he had earned 5 billion this time. Originally, he wanted to buy a portion of the Water of Life, so he was still lacking some funds. Now, he had sufficient funds. The last auction sold it for 30 billion, which was considered a sky-high price. If there's another Water of Life up for auction, it might not even reach 30 billion. I have more than enough funds now. Even if the auction price is too high, I can still borrow from the bank. Everyone had a borrowing limit, especially martial artists. The higher their status and the stronger their strength, the more money they could borrow from the bank. It was not difficult for a student of the world's best training camp to borrow tens of billions. Of course, the interest rate for such a loan was also very high. Let's go for lunch. Haha, let's go eat on the second floor today. Luo Feng's treating, yelled Zhao Ruo. No problem. Senior, feel free to eat as much as you want, laughed Luo Feng. At this time, a group of young men and women from the European Union's faction walked over. The leading man was tall and skinny. His cold gaze stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, I really admire your strength, and it makes my heart itch. I wonder if I'll have the chance to have a stake battle with you. It's up to you how high the stakes are. I'll play with you however high you want to play. Silence. Many students in the surroundings quietened down. Interesting. Things were getting more and more interesting. The students from the Soviet Union, the United States, India, the Hongning base city, and some other base cities were all eager to see the world in chaos. They were looking forward to watching the battle between the European Union and the Huaxia nation. Up to me, Luo Feng was shocked as he carefully looked at the person in front of him. This person was almost 9 meters tall, but was very skinny. His eyes were cold, and at the same time, he naturally gave off a noble feeling. Looking at this person, Luo Feng thought of the mythical race. Vampires. He dares to let me raise the stakes? This white youth's strength is definitely strong, extremely strong. How generous. No wonder he's the heir to the Paulinus family. So rich, generous my ass, Raw couldn't help but to curse. A gentle and low voice rose. Candace, in any case, you were ranked 42nd in the previous March, and you've been in the training camp for 3 years now, yet you still have the nerve to fight Luo Feng? Among the Chinese youths, Shi Jiang took a step forward and frowned. How about, you come and fight me? It's the same. You can raise the stakes. Candace's face changed. Who is Shi Jiang? Being able to consistently rank in the top 5 means that his strength is at the top of the entire training camp. Isn't fighting him like giving him money? Shi Jiang, you should bet with Renats, Candace said. So you know fear, Shi Jiang looked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked at Candace. Shi Jiang and Zhao Ruo were shocked. Could it be that this Luo Feng wants to fight against Candace? Candace isn't William. That William has only been in the training camp for a year. And Candace has been in the training camp for 3 years. And he's ranked 42, which means he's one of the most outstanding students in the training camp. Candace was happy when he saw this. Could it be that this Luo Feng is extremely arrogant? He really wants to fight me? Candace immediately said seriously, Luo Feng, I, Candace and Paulinus, really want to spar with you. I wonder, Candace and Paulinus? Thought Luo Feng to himself. Sure enough, some of the Chinese students said, no wonder he's the #1 heir of the Paulinus family. Luo Feng's heart jumped. The Paulinus family. The vulture-scorpion couple that wants to kill him even in their dreams. The scorpion is called Vanina and Paulinus. She's the sister of the head of the Paulinus family. Who would have thought that I'd meet someone from the Paulinus family here, thought Luo Feng to himself. Sorry, I still have to eat lunch with my seniors, smiled Luo Feng as he walked toward the elevator with Shi Jiang and the others. Luo Feng wasn't dumb. He wouldn't fight someone without confidence. Times, evening of the same day. The night wind blew. In the courtyard of Jiangnan Pagoda. Luo Feng, this is Teacher Jiang. In the 5 years you're in the training camp, you'll follow Teacher Jiang, introduced Shi Jiang. Luo Feng looked at the tall, young woman in a purple dojo uniform in front of him with shock. The body of the woman in front of him was definitely full of breasts, but in waist. Teacher Jiang? The teachers in the training camp were all war gods at the very least. And since they're chosen as teachers, all of these war gods have their own unique skills that can teach these geniuses. This Teacher Jiang in front of him. No matter how Luo Feng looked at her, she was very young, not much older than him. And she's actually his teacher for the next 5 years. My name is Jiang Feng. The purple-clothed woman's entire body felt like a blade. In the next 5 years, I'll be your direct teacher, continued Jiang Feng. Right now, there are a total of 5 students following me. You're the 6th, Luo Feng slightly bowed. Teacher Jiang. Okay, take your blade and come with me, said Jiang Feng. Yes, Luo Feng immediately took his ghost blade, put on his back, and followed Jiang Feng out. Who would have thought that he'd be a female teacher in the elite training camp? As they walked into training camp, Jiang Feng smiled. I heard that you defeated William this afternoon, right? Yes, nodded Luo Feng. William's blade technique is quite good. He reached the second stage. You were able to defeat him. Not bad. Jiang Feng nodded in satisfaction and pulled out 2 scimitars from her waist. Come, Luo Feng. Show me your blade technique. I'll use strength and speed that doesn't surpass yours. In terms of body fitness level, this Jiang Feng is already a war god. Because of her genes and body changes, Jiang Feng looks young. She looks around 20, but her actual age is around 30. Yes, teacher, Luo Feng pulled out his ghost blade. Attack, ordered Jiang Feng. Yes. Luo Feng charged forward like lightning and cleanly slashed towards Jiang Feng. Jiang Feng didn't move the scimitar in her right hand, only her left hand. Dang! The moment the scimitar in her left hand clashed with Luo Feng's ghost blade, Luo Feng felt a strange feeling of powerlessness. Before he could retract his blade, the light of the blade brushed past Luo Feng's neck and retracted. You lost, frowned Jiang Feng as she looked at Luo Feng. Again, Luo Feng's spiritual force was already surrounding Jiang Feng's scimitar. If Jiang Feng's scimitar tries to cut his throat, Luo Feng's spiritual force will directly control the scimitar. No way. The light of the blade was indeed scary. Yes, Luo Feng attacked again. Clang, clang. Jiang Feng's left scimitar only clashed with Luo Feng's blade twice, and Luo Feng was already wide open. How come your blade technique is so weak? Jiang Feng looked at Luo Feng with confusion. You really beat William? Luo Feng was ashamed. He was looked down upon by this goddess of war teacher. Indeed, this Jiang Laosher's strength and speed of his saber weren't faster than his, but he was able to easily disrupt his rhythm. Furthermore, his saber intent was relentless, wave after wave, easily defeating him. In terms of level, this teacher Jiang is who knows how much stronger than that William. And Jiang Feng only used one blade. Her other scimitar didn't move at all. If he used his spiritual force, he could fight. But if he used his blade, he would lose so badly that he wouldn't even have his pants. Teacher, I used my speed and strength to suppress that William. I defeated him with my strength alone, said Luo Feng. Oh. Jiang Feng let out a look of joy. Looks like your fist strength is quite powerful. This requires a lot of control over your strength. This means that you're already very good at controlling your strength. Even though your blade technique is still quite crude, it can continue to improve in the future. What's your fist strength? 2. 8 times, answered Luo Feng. You just entered the training camp, and your fist strength is already this high. No wonder you were recruited alone. Jiang Feng nodded in satisfaction. Luo Feng, don't think too much about your crude blade technique. This is normal. For someone as young as you, if your blade technique is ridiculously high, then it would be too scary. I've been training since I was young and only reached my current level after 20 years of hard work. Come with me. Jiang Feng sheathed her blades and walked in front. Luo Feng followed this war god teacher. P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived. Yep, there's still Chapter 3 today. Chapter 122. In the staircase of the 9 grand floors, Jiang Feng introduced to Luo Feng. The most important parts of the 9 grand floors are obviously the challenge room, training room, and gravity room. These 3 rooms were constructed based on the treasures excavated from the ruins of the ancient civilization. There are also many training rooms on the 7th and 8th floors, such as the gravity chamber that our Earth scientists have imitated. Although the effect is not as good as the gravity chamber of the ancient civilization, it is still much better than having no gravity chamber. Beep. The elevator door opened. He walked along the hall on the 9th floor towards the training room. From the 1st to the 30th of every month, students go to the training room and the gravity room to train. In these 30 days, every day from 12 noon to 1 p.m., this hour was the rest period. Usually, if there's a new preparatory student, the assessment will take place during this hour. Jiang Feng explained. And this month is March, so there's the 31st. On the 31st, the gravity room and training room are both empty, said Jiang Fong as she brought Luo Feng to the door of her room. Of the 3 rooms on the 9th floor, Luo Feng had already entered the other 2 rooms, the training room and the challenge room. A light flashed past Luo Feng and Jiang Fong. Beep! The door opened and Luo Feng and Jiang Fong entered the room together. This is the gravity room, the one found in the ruins of the ancient civilization, Jiang Fong said. Luo Feng carefully looked around the room. The walls and floor of the gravity room were all made from a mixture of yellow and black alloy. The entire gravity room, because of this special alloy, gave off a special feeling. We, the scientists on Earth, haven't figured out this alloy yet. Jiang Fong pointed at the alloy wall and said, even existences surpassing the war god level can't leave a mark on this wall. Luo Feng froze as he looked at the wall beside him. There was actually a fist imprint that was around 5 millimeters deep. Jiang Fong's eyes lit up with a hint of admiration. This fist mark was left behind by the strongest fighter on Earth, Hong. Among the fighters surpassing the war god level, only the head can leave a fist mark on this wall. No one else could do it. The Hall Master is the strongest person on Earth. Beep. After saying that, Jiang Fong pressed the switch beside her. Your physical fitness is at the beginner warlord level. 9 times the gravity should be close to your limit. As she spoke, Jiang Fong quickly pressed an increase button, and the number on the display screen kept changing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Buzz, a formless energy immediately enveloped every part of his body. Before he could even take a breath, the gravity quickly rose from 8 to 9. Luo Feng only felt his vision go black, and he immediately knelt on the ground. His heartbeat was as loud as a drum. The sound of his blood flowing was like a flowing river. Everything was so clear. How do you feel? Jiang Fong looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng stood up with difficulty. His face was pale, and his body was on the verge of collapsing. I just feel like my entire body is very heavy. My heartbeat is very uncomfortable. Even breathing is very difficult. Every part of my body feels uncomfortable. Even though Luo Feng was carrying a ghost blade on his back, under 9x gravity, his weight was around 1,000 kilograms. But even though he was carrying such a heavy load, he didn't feel the pain of his blood vessels and internal organs suffering from 9 times the gravity. Luo Feng, do you know how important a gravity room is to a fighter? Under 9x gravity, Jiang Fong was still talking and laughing. Luo Feng looked at Jiang Fong. Martial artists absorb the energy of a universe and turn it into genetic energy, then let the body absorb the genetic energy to improve the genes and strengthen the body. Jiang Fong sighed. But every cell in the body will be saturated after absorbing to a certain extent. I won't be able to absorb anymore. The more a person exercises, the more they eat. That's the same logic. Only every cell in the body participates in the exercise. Then the amount of genetic energy absorbed by the cells will be much higher, Jiang Fong sighed. And when we train normally, even though it looks like we're tired, it's hard to move every single part of the body, Luo Feng nodded. He understood this logic. This is also why the higher the level of the 9-stage Thunderblade, the faster the body fitness level increases. But the gravity room is different. The gravitational force of the gravity chamber acts on every part of your body. Your muscles, bones, blood vessels, organs, cells, and even atoms. Jiang Fong explained. Gravity is everywhere, so will naturally act on the most minute details. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. Yes, gravity does affect every single part of the body. So, in the gravity room, especially under your own extreme gravity. Jiang Fong smiled. Even if you stand here without moving, every single cell in your body will be affected by gravity. You're fighting against gravity and expending energy. No matter how much you cultivate, the effect will be much better. Yet Luo Feng couldn't help but to nod in praise. Jiang Fong smiled. Of course, if you train with it, the effects will be even better. You can say this. If you train under extreme gravity for 2 hours a day, then your training speed will be 10 times faster than normal. 10 times? Luo Feng's eyes widened. Fuck. If he used to need 3 years to become an advanced level war god level spirit reader with a gravity room, then wouldn't he only need 3 to 4 months now? However, there's only one gravity room, Jiang Fong continued. Even the Thunder Dojo's elite training camp doesn't have one. One room for 183 students. How much will you get? Luo Feng was speechless. So the higher your rank, the more time you can use it, Jiang Fong continued. The gravity room that our scientists on Earth created has a range of 1x, 3x. In other words, you can only use 3x. When you train in the gravity room, the closer you are to your own limit, the better the results will be. The gravity room that was excavated from the archaeological ruins has a range of 1x, 1000x. Jiang Fong exclaimed. It's much stronger than the one we created, 1000x? Luo Feng stared. Who can handle 1000x gravity? Of course, this so-called 1x, 1000x is something we set up on the display after we modified it. Jiang Fong pointed at the display. Do you think the archaeological ruins use Arabic numbers? The numbers and switches on this display were all modified by us. Of course, we can't change the main parts. There's only one archaeological gravity room. How long can a newbie like Luo Feng use it for? Even though the gravity room on Earth has a limit of 3x, there are a lot of them. In the entire training camp, there are a total of 10 gravity rooms. Luo Feng, you're new. You're ranked 183, which is an odd number. So for the first 28 days of April, on the odd days, you'll follow the other students and go to the wilderness to hunt monsters. Earn battle points. And on the odd days, you'll stay in the training camp and properly train. When that time comes, I'll teach you, Jiang Fong instructed. Yes, teacher, Luo Feng nodded. In the training camp, you have to take advantage of this opportunity to strengthen yourself. Times night, 11 p.m. Luo Feng, who was wearing a bathrobe, sat in his study room and looked at his laptop. Rank number 1, April, can use the archaeological gravity room for 90 hours and the training room for 90 hours. Rank number 2, April, can use the archaeological gravity room for 60 hours and the training room for 60 hours. Ranked number 11, 30, can use the archaeological gravity room for 6 hours and the training room for 6 hours. Rank number 31, 50, can use the archaeological gravity room for 4 hours and the training room for 4 hours. Rank number 51, 100, can use the archaeological gravity room for 2 hours and the training room for 2 hours. Rank number 101, last, can use the archaeological gravity room for 1 hour and the training room for 1 hour. Luo Feng looked at the last number and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He's new, ranked number 183, so he can only use the archaeological gravity room for 1 hour in the entire April. The training room for 1 hour? It's only been an hour. Rank number 1 feels so good, a whole 90 hours. On the odd days, he goes out to hunt monsters. On the even days, he stays in the training camp and trains hard for 15 days a month. Every day, he can stay in the archaeological gravity room for 6 hours and the training room for 6 hours. It's hard to raise your strength slowly. Luo Feng was jealous. In the archaeological gravity room, as long as you stay in there for 2 hours a day, 1 day is equivalent to 10 days. Don't even mention the fact that he stays there for 6 hours a day. Thankfully, April is my first month in the training camp, so I have a special privilege. I can take the Tower of Trials exam, thought Luo Feng to himself. The Tower of Trials exam is a privilege that every new student has during their first month in the training camp has. The time spent on the Tower of Trials exam isn't included in the allotted time. For example, Luo Feng only spent 1 hour in the training room in April. Maybe Luo Feng spent 40 minutes on the Tower of Trials exam, which adds up to 1 hour and 40 minutes. Some people spend a lot of time on the Tower of Trials exam, while others spend a lot of time. My blade technique is still pretty basic right now. I'll train hard this month and take the Tower of Trials exam on the 26th, thought Luo Feng to himself. Since he's the only new student in April, Luo Feng can choose any day to take the Tower of Trials exam between 12 p.m. and 13 p.m. In the blink of an eye, It was already April 1st, Luo Feng's official day in the training camp. On April 1st, Luo Feng followed 91 other students and headed toward the city in the wilderness that was around 300 kilometers away from the training camp, number 1001 city. This number was personally chosen by the founder of Hong Ning headquarters city, Hong. All students must hunt monsters in this city. Also, there's a special satellite to monitor this number 1001 city. There are iron rules in the training camp. 1. If you secretly trade monsters, give monster materials to other students, or help other students gain battle points, once discovered, you will be expelled. 2. If you kill each other and kill other students, once discovered, you will be executed. Puchi, the ghost blade, slashed across, and the head of a pack mountain deer that was the size of a small mountain flew into the air. The monsters in this western region are completely different from the ones in China. Luo Feng was like a fish in water in the wilderness city. Luo Feng was like a fish in water in the city of the wilderness. Back then, he trained his blade in a horde of beasts. Other students were worried about being surrounded and attacked by a horde of beasts, but Luo Feng had no such worries. So, Luo Feng's efficiency in hunting monsters was very high, and he earned a lot of battle points. Blade and sword techniques are divided into beginner, expert, perfection, realm. You need to build a good foundation for these 4 levels. Practice your saber every day for 2 hours in the fake gravity room. Practice your blade in the training room for 2 hours every day. Practice your blade when you get back. How can you do it if your foundation isn't solid? When you train, use your brain and think. How can we make it so smooth and uninterrupted? Jiang Fong ordered. Yes, teacher. In the gravity room, in the blade training room, in the underground room of Jiangnan Pagoda, every day, Luo Feng was obsessed with training his blade. He even used his spiritual force to sense the trajectory of his blade. With his spiritual force, Luo Feng was constantly improving and training. This kid's improvement is quite scary. However, it's not strange for him to be a bit crazy in this training camp. Even though Jiang Fong was shocked, she still had higher expectations for Luo Feng. All sorts of training methods were added onto Luo Feng's body. Of course, he can't stop his genetic energy training. Only when his entire body feels relaxed would Luo Feng occasionally chat with his family and Su Xian on his laptop. Luo Feng, you seem pretty tired. Not tired. I don't feel tired at all when I see you. Luo Feng looked at his laptop and laughed as he watched Su Xian in the video chat. Who would have thought that Luo Feng would be so witty? Luo Feng was completely immersed in his days in the training camp. There are many geniuses here, geniuses who are much stronger than him. In terms of spirit readers, there are dozens of them in the elite training camp, and there are quite a few who are stronger than him in terms of spiritual force. In terms of blade technique, and force exertion, there are some who are stronger than Luo Feng. In terms of body exertion, there are even some who are stronger than Luo Feng. In terms of technique, there are quite a few in the training camp who have reached the realm of comprehension. In terms of blade technique, Luo Feng is at the bottom of the training camp. However, Luo Feng's technique and force exertion are already his advantages. Even though his blade technique isn't the best in the training camp, it's still above average. I'm sure he'll reach the second stage of his blade technique soon. Jiang Fong was quite satisfied with this disciple. After 2 or 3 years, Luo Feng can definitely make it into the top 10 in the training camp. Luo Feng was like a sponge that desperately absorbed nutrients in the training camp. Whether it was his body fitness level, blade technique, or all other aspects, he was improving. This improvement speed is way faster than when he was training by himself. And there are many war god teachers in this training camp. There are even investigators giving lectures. April 26th, morning. Jiangnan Pagoda, Luo Feng study. Looks like it'll be really hard to get to the top of the Black Dragon ranking, Su Xian sighed in the video chat. It's really hard, Luo Feng nodded. In this month, other than sleeping and occasionally video chatting with his family, and Su Xian, he spent all of his time training. His improvement in this month has been shocking. There are a lot of geniuses in this training camp. William, who I defeated back then, was ranked around 150th on the Black Dragon leaderboard. Most of the first-year students are ranked below 150th. It's almost impossible to make it into the top 120. Not to mention the top 100, said Luo Feng. Su Xian laughed. Then Luo Feng, you're already doing quite well. Not bad, but I wasn't able to make it into the top 120. Luo Feng shook his head. Said Luo Feng as he shook his head. In these 26 days, his hunting efficiency rivaled that of the 3- or 4-year-old students, and his battle ability amplifier was 4. 48, too. 8 times 1, 6. His points haven't even made it into the top 120 on the Black Dragon ranking. However, it's still higher than that, William. Luo Feng, don't give yourself too much pressure. You're already very strong. Didn't you say that you're ranked second among the students who just entered the training camp this year? Su Xian comforted. And according to what you said, your battle ability amplifier is far more than 4. 48. After your Tower of Trials exam, your battle ability amplifier will increase. Who knows? You might even be able to charge into the top 100 for what I heard. Those who can charge into the top 100 in the elite training camp are all amazing people, sighed Su Xian. Su Xian's background allowed her to know quite a bit about the elite training camp. Today's the Tower of Trials exam. Do your best. In the video, Su Xian raised her little fist. Hee Luo Feng grinned. Do your best. Watch me. The higher you go in the Tower of Trials, the higher your level. And when he passed the B grade exam, his Tower of Trials level automatically increased to 1. 6. And ever since his speed exploded and his blade technique improved, his Tower of Trials level will definitely increase by leaps and bounds. 11:50 p.m. Luo Feng chatted with his parents for a bit. After that, Luo Feng leisurely walked out of Jiangnan Pagoda by himself in his casual clothes. Coincidentally, Zhao Ruo walked back and smiled. Luo Feng, want to eat lunch? I already ate, laughed Luo Feng. I just want to check the Black Dragon ranking, and you're actually ranked 126. Junior, you're really amazing. I only made it into the top 100-inch, joked Zhao Ruo. Luo Feng grinned. Senior, you have to be careful. My goal is to charge into the top 100 in a short period of time. Short period? How short? 2 months? 3 months? Zhao Ruo raised her eyebrows. I'll talk to you later. I have to go. Luo Feng didn't say much. Other than Su Xian, no one else in the training camp knows about his decision to take the Tower of Trials level exam on April 26th. After saying that, Luo Feng headed towards the 9 grand floors. On the way, quite a few students greeted Luo Feng. Students respect the strong, and Luo Feng was able to charge to 126 in his first month in the training camp. Even though the ranking will only end at midnight on the 28th, Luo Feng's strength can be seen from this. He's only 19 years old, and he's already this strong. Then what about the future? So many of these students from South America, North America, Europe, Africa, etc. have pretty good relationships with Luo Feng. On the 9th floor of the 9 grand floors, 6 black students just finished their training in the Tower of Trials and the Gravity Room. They were sparring here. Luo Feng, why are you here? Yelled one of the black students who knew Mandarin. The other 5 black students didn't know Mandarin, so very few of the students from Africa knew Mandarin, even though Mandarin is quite common in the world right now. I have something to do, smiled Luo Feng and headed towards the training room. The training room scanned Luo Feng and confirmed his identity. The door to the training room opened automatically. Luo Feng lightly pushed it open and entered. Training room? How can he enter the training room after midnight? He can't enter the training room. The 6 black students spoke fluently in their native African language. That Luo Feng is a new student. This April is his first month here. New students have the privilege to take the Tower of Trials level exam in their first month. Could it be that he hasn't taken the Tower of Trials level exam yet? It's already the 26th. He definitely hasn't taken the exam yet. Otherwise, students wouldn't even be able to enter the training room from 12 a.m. to 1 p.m. Holy, he hasn't taken the Tower of Trials level exam, and his Black Dragon ranking is already over 120. After the exam, how high is he going to get? Could be the top 100? A newbie can get into the top 100 in his first month. Hurry, let's go to the Black Dragon ranking. The ranking will definitely change soon. Hurry, let's go. Let's go to the Black Dragon sculpture. The 6 black students said a bunch of stuff and were all extremely shocked. They swiftly went down the stairs and headed towards the Black Dragon sculpture at the entrance of the training camp. Keep in mind that in the training camp, it's almost impossible for a newbie to get into the top 100 in his first month. Every single person who can create such a miracle has amazing achievements. Could it be another person who gets into the top 100 as soon as he enters the training camp? P.S. Sweat. The 3rd chapter has around 5,000 words, so it's not far from 6,000 words. All in all, Tomato's word count for today is nearing 12,000. How? Call for monthly votes. Call for more monthly votes. Count it as encouragement for Tomato. Chapter 123. In the training room, Luo Feng turned on the lights. Luo Feng laid on the sofa and picked up the dark blue helmet. This consciousness sensor helmet reflected a dazzling dark blue light under the light. "The further the better," said Luo Feng lightly. He kissed the helmet and then put it on. HUM asterisk 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 on the silver and boundless land. The sky was the boundless universe. The only structure was a 7-story tower that pierced through the sky, the Tower of Trials. Luo Feng familiarly arrived at the entrance of the Tower of Trials. On the left pillar of the Tower of Trials, a message about himself appeared. Name, Luo Feng. Gender, male. Identity, Elite Training Camp Official Student. Tower of Trials Level 1, 6. Luo Feng smiled. Under the virtual space's reminder, he swiftly changed into his battle uniform, weapon, and shield. After that, he directly entered the Tower of Trials. On the vast prairie, Luo Feng appeared out of nowhere. Luo Feng, the electronic voice echoed around the entire prairie. You've completed the first B stage of the trial. The next step is the C stage. Your goal is to kill 200 raging bulls within 50 minutes. Among these 200 raging bull monsters, there are 190 low-level commander-level monsters and 10 middle-level commanders. Good luck. Luo Feng grinned, and his gaze was like a blade. After being in the training camp for close to a month, Luo Feng was very clear about what he would face in every stage of the Tower of Trials. The B stage was 100 low-level commander raging bulls. This time, it's 200, and there are even 10 middle-level commander-level monsters. And his body is only at the low-level warlord level. He has to kill all of them within 50 minutes for it to be considered a success. Boo! 200 barbaric bulls instantly appeared on the grassland, and there were even a few enormous barbaric bulls with fiery red horns. Boo! The earth shook. Under the lead of the 10 middle-level commander-level raging bulls, the raging bulls charged towards Luo Feng like a roaring wave. With Luo Feng's fitness level, he'll probably lose his ability to fight and get trampled into meat paste by the raging bulls. So he can't make a single mistake. Come! Luo Feng held his hexagonal shield in one hand and his ghost blade in the other as he grinned and charged towards the raging bulls. While Luo Feng was taking the Tower of Trials exam, the 6 African students spread the news to quite a few other students. This Chinese student, Luo Feng, who just entered the training camp and charged to rank 126, didn't even take the Tower of Trials exam. The assessment had only begun today. Even without taking the test, he was already ranked 126. Was he going to charge into the top 100 after the assessment? Immediately, many of the students who were eating also quickly finished their meals and rushed to the giant black dragon sculpture at the training camp's main entrance, paying close attention to the changes on the ranking board. In fact, the rankings were constantly changing, and it would only stop changing at midnight on the 28th. At this time, in the top floor of a dilapidated 3-story villa in City 1001 of the Wilderness, Candace and Paulinus, who was wearing a black combat suit, was sitting on the ground alone. He held a water bag in one hand and replenished himself with water. Although he was the first successor of the Paulinus family, one of the 9 core families of the HR Alliance, Candace didn't relax his expectations. One's own strength is the most fundamental. Everything else is fake. Candace slightly gulped down his saliva. Today is already the 26th. There are only 2 days left until the end of this month's ranking. Looks like I won't have any problems getting into the top 50 this time. Right now, Candace's ranking is rank 39. Let's see if he can charge into the top 30-inch. Candace's nose was straight and his gaze was cold. Who would have thought that Chinese kid would improve so quickly? He's already in the top 120-inch ever since his good friend William and Luo Feng's first bet. Candace's small group of people have been causing trouble for Luo Feng. For example, stealing Luo Feng's prey in the wilderness, or ruining Luo Feng's hunt. The training camp only forbids killing each other and private deals, but these troublesome actions aren't punished. Candace looked at the tactical communications watch on his wrist. It's William. Call me back. Candace ordered, and the call quickly connected. William, you're calling me even though I'm in the wilderness. Could it be that you miss me? Mocked Candace. Candace, let me tell you something. That Huaxia kid just took the Tower of Trials test today. William's voice came from the tactical communications watch. What does his Tower of Trials test have to do with us? Just as Candace finished speaking, his expression changed. What did you say? He just took the Trial Tower's ranking test today. Could it be that he hadn't taken the test in the past 26 days? How is it possible that he could rush to the 120th place without taking the test? Impossible. Candace was very unhappy with Luo Feng, so he naturally didn't want to believe that Luo Feng was that strong. I don't want to believe it either, but my brother, I have to tell you, this is the truth. This Luo Feng is currently taking his exam in the training room. And now, over at the training camp, dozens of trainees were looking at the Black Dragon leaderboard, waiting for it to refresh. Even the teachers of the training camp have come over. William spoke extremely fast in fluent English. If this Luo Feng can really charge into the top 100 in his first month, then that would be incredible. I don't believe it. Candace's eyes were like a venomous snake. I definitely don't believe he can charge into the top 100. I don't want to believe it either, but if you were in the training camp right now, you'd know, said William helplessly. Keep an eye on the Black Dragon sculpture and don't hang up. Notify me when it refreshes, commanded Candace. All right. Asterisk, 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 virtual space. First floor of the Tower of Trials, on a vast prairie. Raging bull corpses laid around, and fresh blood dyed the prairie red. Luo Feng's body was covered in blood as he stepped on a raging bull's corpse. His face was pale, and there were traces of blood at the corner of his mouth. Used 41 minutes and 26 seconds to kill 190 low-level commander-level raging bulls and 10 medium-level commander-level raging bulls. Past the C-grade stage. Past the first floor of the Tower of Trials. Congratulations, student Luo Feng. An electronic sound rang, and the entire prairie flashed and completely disappeared. The endless sky and land around it turned into a desert, a boundless desert. This is the second floor of the Tower of Trials. According to what Luo Feng knows, every floor of the Tower of Trials has 3 stages, A, B, and B. For example, in the second floor of the Tower of Trials, completing the A stage is 2. 3. Completing the B stage is 2. 6. And completing the C stage is 3. 0. And right now, Luo Feng has just completed the first floor C stage, which is 2. 0. Who would have thought that the 100 Raging Bulls in the B stage would turn into the 200 Raging Bulls in the C stage would become so terrifying? Luo Feng recalled the slaughter from before and was still scared. With 10 medium-level commander-level Raging Bulls, just the medium-level commander-level monsters aren't much of a threat. The most troublesome part is, they split up and lead the other Raging Bulls to attack in an organized manner. Unlike the aimless attacks on Luo Feng in the B stage. The C stage is organized. If Luo Feng's blade technique wasn't much stronger than before, Luo Feng would have already failed in the charge of the Raging Bulls. Luo Feng, congratulations on completing the first floor of the Tower of Trials. Next up is the A stage of the Tower of Trials' second floor. Your goal is to kill 50 low-level commander-level steel-armored scorpions within 10 minutes. Good luck! The virtual space's electronic voice resounded throughout the entire desert. steel-armored scorpions, a type of monster that can often be seen in the desert. They are the most numerous type of scorpion monster. According to what the other students said, steel-armored scorpions are quite small, so they can command around 10 or even 20 of them to attack a human at the same time. And their dodging is unpredictable, making them extremely hard to deal with. The A stage of the second floor is several times harder than before. Luo Feng was under a lot of pressure. SHA. Suddenly, dark red armored scorpions crawled out of the endless desert. Clearly, these scorpions could easily drill into the desert. Each scorpion's armor was dark red, and its long, pointed tail was jet black. No one doubted the power of Scorpion's tail. The A stage of the Tower of Trials' second floor began. In the wilderness number 1001 city, Candace was leaning against the wall and occasionally chatting with William. It changed. Luo Feng's ranking changed. William's shocked voice carried from his tactical communications watch. How much did it change? Candace was shocked. From 126 to 108. After hearing this, Candace took in a deep breath. He actually became number 108 in the training camp. A rookie who just entered the training camp and managed to charge to 108 in the first month is indeed quite scary. At this moment, Candace felt a bit of regret. With Luo Feng's current achievements, he's destined to be terrifying in the future. However, since they're on opposing sides, at most, I'll just not mess with him or get close to him, sneered Candace. What's more, he's only number 108. He hasn't even entered the top 100. Candace didn't know that the reason Luo Feng's ranking jumped from 126 to 108 was because Luo Feng passed the C stage of the trial, and his Tower of Trials level went from 6 foot to 0 foot. This means that Luo Feng's points increased by a full quarter. That's why he improved so much. It changed again. Candace, the ranking changed again. William's voice carried from his tactical communications watch. How much? It's already number 99. It charged into the top 100. Candace's face changed. Inside the training camp, in front of the black dragon sculpture at the entrance. When the dozens of students and war god teachers saw that the ranking changed again and Luo Feng appeared at number 99, they were all extremely excited and shocked. A rookie charging into the top 100 in his first month has only happened 5 times in the history of our training camp. Those 5 people were all absolute geniuses. The earliest one was 20 years ago. Out of these 5 people, 4 of them are already advanced level war gods. Another one even broke through the war god level and became an existence surpassing the war god level. Yelled a Russian white brute with a big beard happily. Impressive. This rookie is called Luo Feng. His technique, speed, and blade technique should all be very good. Quick, go and inform the patrol envoy. Tell him this news. P.S. Chapter 1 has ended. Chapter 124. Jiang Feng was one of the most famous people in the circle of war gods around the world. She was born in a poor family during the most turbulent years of the Grand Nirvana period. Her life was filled with misfortune. Her husband died, saving her during a hunt in the wilderness. From then on, Jiang Feng no longer cared about the struggles between the various factions, nor did she care about the matters of the heart. She wholeheartedly devoted herself to the path of martial arts, and unexpectedly obtained great achievements. People call her the Moon Witch Jiang Feng. Her curved blades were godly. Fighters who don't like to fight or fight with the outside world are usually willing to become teachers in the Dojo of Limits. This Jiang Feng has been in the elite training camp for close to 10 years. Other than studying her blade technique, her only hobby is she watched as her disciple made such an achievement. Watching her disciples surpass the disciples of other teachers. Jiang, congratulations, a bald, lean black man said. Luo Feng's talent is high, smiled Jiang Feng. The white-bearded brute on the side spoke in awkward Chinese. It's all because of Miss Jiang Feng's teachings. You Chinese have a saying, what's it like? It's called, a great teacher produces a great disciple. There were very few female teachers in the elite training camp, and Jiang Feng has quite a few war god disciples, so naturally, she has a lot of connections. She's strong, tall, and pretty. There are quite a few war god fighters who want to chase after Jiangfang. Luo Feng's out, following a voice. Jiangfang couldn't help but to turn her head. She saw Luo Feng, who was wearing simple casual clothes, walking out of the 9 grand floors. Just as Luo Feng walked out of the 9 grand floors, he saw teacher Jiangfang walking towards him. Teacher Jiangfang, known as the flower of the elite training camp, has quite a few male students chasing after this teacher. Since war gods have much longer lifespans than normal people, students don't care about a difference of more than 10 years. However, Luo Feng was very respectful towards Jiangfang. In this month, Jiangfang has indeed helped him a lot. Teacher, said Luo Feng respectfully. Not bad. You're currently numbered 99 on the Black Dragon ranking, smiled Jiangfang as she complimented. How did the Tower of Trials exam go? I failed the A stage of the 2nd floor. Luo Feng was quite helpless. He already knew that the iron-armored scorpions were hard to deal with, but when he actually fought them, he realized how powerful they were. Each iron-armored scorpion had many blade-like claws, as well as a ghost-like spine. Although he had made great progress compared to when he first arrived, out of those 50 iron-armored scorpions, he had tried his best to kill 36 of them. In the end, he was dragged to the bottom of the desert by the iron-armored scorpions and killed. In the desert, the armored scorpions were truly terrifying. In the end, his Tower of Trials level was 2. The armored scorpions are indeed difficult to deal with. Jiangfang encouraged. Good luck. Your current rank is 99. There are still 2 more days until midnight on the 28th. Work hard during these 2 days and strive to maintain your rank within the top 100. To be able to rush into the top 100 in the first month of the training camp. Even as your teacher, it's a great honor. Luo Feng laughed. He had to work harder. At around 8 o'clock in the evening, the training camp special vehicles drove up to the main entrance of the training camp, and the trainees who were hunting monsters in the wilderness came in one by one. I heard Luo Feng made it to number 99 this afternoon. I heard that too. Luo Feng brought honor to our country of China. The first thing these trainees did when they entered the training camp was to raise their heads and look at the ranking on the Black Dragon sculpture. Because these trainees all handed in their monster materials and received battle points. So most of the people who came back from hunting monsters rose 1 or 2 ranks. Only a few didn't rise or even fell. Number 101? Luo Feng fell to number 101. Candace heard this right after he entered the training camp. He couldn't help but to let out a smile and raise his head. Indeed, Luo Feng, who was number 99 in the afternoon, is now number 101. The closer it gets to midnight on the 28th, the more intense everyone's fighting. Luo Feng, you want to rush into the top 100? Candace had a cold smile on his face. He carried his backpack and headed towards his living quarters. Early in the morning of the 27th, Luo Feng left the training camp with 91 other trainees. When he left the training camp, Luo Feng discovered that his rank was now number 102. Clearly, the 91 trainees who returned from hunting monsters last night caused quite a bit of change in the ranking. For the entire day of the 27th, Luo Feng worked hard to hunt monsters. He only returned to the training camp when it was almost 10 p.m. Luo Feng, you got quite a bit today. In the training camp's car, the dojo of Limit's workers bought the materials and transferred the money into Luo Feng's card. This also increased Luo Feng's contribution points, and also gave him battle points. Your rank should be able to rise a few ranks. Thanks for your kind words, Luo Feng grinned. The training camp's entrance. After Luo Feng got off the car, he walked towards the gigantic Black Dragon sculpture. His attention was completely focused on the names on the Black Dragon scales. Very easily, he found his name, and 98 Luo Feng, 570403, rushed to number 98. Luo Feng slightly frowned, laughed, and then headed towards his living quarters, Jiangnan Pagoda. A group of white youths spoke fluent American English. That Luo Feng actually laughed? Even though he's number 98 right now, tomorrow is the 28th. He doesn't have a right to go out and hunt monsters. When the 91 trainees return tomorrow, this Luo Feng's rank will probably be pushed out of the top 100. Jason, You dare to laugh at someone else? I remember that you were only number 179 in your first month, right? April 28th, 10 p.m. Beside the gigantic black dragon sculpture in the elite training camp, quite a few trainees were already sitting on the ground and laughing. They've been working hard for nearly a month. Since they've done everything they could, All that's left is to wait for the final result. Outside of the training camp, in a residential building around 3 kilometers away. Hurry, set up the equipment. All of you hurry up. The boss gave you so much money to work here. Working here is like taking a vacation. The few tasks that the boss gave us, we have to do them to the best of our abilities. Understood? A sturdy man with dyed yellow hair roared. The other 5 members swiftly moved the equipment. Understood, Captain. It's done. A ranking appeared on the gigantic screen on the wall. It was the ranking of the black dragon sculpture. Very good. The sturdy man with yellow hair nodded. When the ranking is set at midnight, we'll send the news to the boss as soon as possible. Oh yeah, the boss ordered us to pay special attention to Luo Feng from our country of China. Understood. The other 5 people laughed as they replied. It wasn't just this squad. In Hongning, headquarters city, especially around the elite training camp, quite a few intelligence agents were paying attention to the Black Dragon ranking. Tonight at midnight, not only were the trainees of the elite training camp paying attention to this ranking, but many organizations from all over the world were also paying attention to this ranking. These organizations would have a series of intelligence reports on every student on the list. April 28th, 10:18 p.m. 9 Grand Floors Training Room. The door to the training room opened. Luo Feng, who was wearing a dark green dojo uniform, was lying on the sofa. He once again put on his helmet and entered the virtual space. On the other sofa, a black girl was lying. In just 1 or 2 minutes, the black girl took off her helmet and opened her eyes. She cursed a few times before leaving the training room. Only one person can enter the Tower of Trials at a time. Therefore, every student had to enter and exit at the same time. Second floor of the Tower of Trials. In the boundless desert, 50 steel armored scorpions came out of the sand and surrounded Luo Feng. Today, I have an hour to play with you, scorpions. Luo Feng was filled with fighting spirit. Kill! The battle instantly began. As long as you die once in the Tower of Trials exam, the exam will end. So after Luo Feng failed yesterday, his exam privileges ended. However, other than the Tower of Trials exam, Luo Feng, who was ranked 183 in March, has 1 hour of training in the training room and 1 hour of training in the archaeological gravity room. And Luo Feng's 1 hour in the training room is exactly the 28th, 10:20 p.m. to 11:20 p.m. In this hour, Luo Feng could try again if he fails. No matter how many times he fails, he could try again. However, once the time is up, no matter if he succeeds or fails, he will be kicked out of the virtual space. Kill! The 50 steel-armored scorpions either drilled into the sand, pounced, or charged. Basically, they surrounded Luo Feng from all directions. For a moment, Luo Feng became a ghostly silhouette. His blade was like a dreamy mist as it destroyed the formation of the steel-armored scorpions and killed them one by one. Puchi! A curved blade of light flashed, and 3 steel-armored scorpions fell from midair. Luo Feng, who had a wound on his face, couldn't help but to laugh. Fuck, after dying 3 times, I finally passed the ace stage of the 2nd floor. As long as the time isn't up, he can try again no matter how many times he dies. Used 5 minutes and 6 seconds to kill 50 low-level commander-level steel-armored scorpions. You have passed the ace stage of the 2nd floor. Congratulations, student Luo Feng. The electronic voice echoed in the scorching desert. The light flashed, and all the corpses of the steel-armored scorpions disappeared. Luo Feng's body and stamina also recovered. Luo Feng was clear. Actually, the A stage of the 2nd floor is pretty much his limit. He only passed it after dying 3 times. As for the B stage, unless something special happens, he won't be able to pass it in a short amount of time. I'll just treat it as practicing my technique and blade. Maybe my technique will reach the perfect level. Luo Feng held his ghost blade and continued to receive the training. Around 10 o'clock in the night, a training camp car stopped outside the main entrance. Two fully armed cadets walked in, one of whom was Candace and Paulinus. The 28th was the day he went out to hunt. Candace, the blonde youth, William, greeted him and smiled. Congratulations, you're already in rank 38. Then what's Luo Feng's rank? Candace and William walked side by side towards the black dragon statue. Look, he's ranked 101, 102. He's already 102. William pointed at the gigantic black dragon statue. Candace raised his head and looked at the black dragon ranking. He nodded and laughed. To be honest, that yellow-skinned kid is quite strong. However, he's dreaming if he wants to charge into the top 100 in his first month. A rookie charged into the top 100 in his first month. It's about time for us EU countries to do the same. Today's the 28th. Luo Feng went out to hunt on an odd day, so there's no hope for him, laughed William. Candace also let out a carefree laugh. Suddenly, it changed, then Luo Feng's rank increased. Weird, today's the 28th, and Luo Feng isn't going out to hunt. So how did his rank increase? Quite a few spectating students were shocked. Candace and William, the two blonde youths, raised their heads and were also stunned. Luo Feng's rank actually charged from 102 to 98. Today's the 28th. How did Luo Feng increase his rank? Could it be that someone wagered his points with him? Candace's expression was like he just saw a ghost. Impossible. Impossible. How did he increase his rank today? William couldn't believe it either. There's no point in not believing it, since that's the truth. Actually, because Luo Feng completed the ace stage of the second floor, the Tower of Trials level went from 2 to 3, so his rank increased a bit. Time passed minute by minute. The students were all discussing the rank, and Luo Feng's rank was precisely 98. 10:56 p.m. F***CK. OMG. Holy God. All the students stared with their mouths wide open. Candace and William also stared dumbfoundedly at the new rank. And 82 Luo Feng, 570,403. From 98 to 82, this jump is way too ridiculous. In an instant, the nearly 100 students gathered there all went into an uproar. This jump was way too fast. Cheating. It's definitely a wager battle. Luo Feng wagered his points with someone else. Someone purposely wagered his points to Luo Feng. A student immediately yelled. Cheating. Some students couldn't believe that Luo Feng's rank would still rise so ridiculously without going to the wilderness. It's not cheating. Luo Feng is in the training room right now. A sentence in English rang. He's in the training room. We watched him go, and a few white and black youths said as they walked over from the direction of the 9 grand floors. A few white and black youths walked over from the direction of the 9-story building. Immediately, the noisy group of genius students quietened down. Actually, there were only a few people who shouted cheating. Among the 180 geniuses, there were still a few students who were very jealous. Luo Feng entered the training room at 10:20 p.m. After I finished, it was his turn, said a black girl. Rebecca, Luo Feng was after you. A white youth walked over. Yes, the black girl nodded. So Luo Feng was in the training room. Looks like his Tower of Trials level is rising. So his rank also jumped. The students all started to look forward to it. Many of the students were looking forward to it. After all, there had been 5 geniuses who had rushed into the top 100 as soon as they arrived in the training camp. However, the earliest was 20 years ago, and the latest was 8 years ago. Something like this hasn't happened in the elite training camp for a long time. And this time, it looks like Luo Feng is going to create a miracle. Luo Feng is ranked last on the Black Dragon ranking in March, so he only has 1 hour in the training room, laughed a yellow-skinned, middle-aged man. It's almost 11:20 p.m. At that time, no matter what, he'll definitely be kicked out of the virtual space. Students, watch for the ranking to refresh at 11:20 p.m. It's already 11:18 p.m. 19 p.m. 20 p.m. Candace and William, the 2 blonde youths, stared at the ranking. It can't rise. It can't rise anymore, repeated Candace in his heart. Whoosh. At 11:20 p.m., the ranking refreshed again, and 68 Luo Feng, 570403. Asterisk asterisk PS. Brothers, monthly tickets. Recommendation tickets. Tomato loves monthly tickets. Tomato loves recommendation tickets. Tickets come all. Chapter 125. Under the night sky, the names carved on the scales of the Black Dragon, which was as tall as a 20-story building, were extremely clear. And at this moment, the close to 100 students and some war god teachers under the gigantic Black Dragon statue all stared in shock at the name. And 68 Luo Feng, 570403. Everyone knew that it was already 11:20 p.m., very close to the final deadline of 12 p.m. The students who had gone out to hunt had already returned. The possibility of the rankings changing was very, very small. In other words, Luo Feng's rank was 68 in April, which was pretty much set in stone. This is getting out of hand. Where did this Luo Feng come from? My God, even the calmest person would be shocked by this ranking. Just being ranked 68th was nothing, but to be ranked 68th in the first month after joining the training camp was a completely different story. This was even more valuable than being ranked first by an old cadet who had been training for 4 or 5 years. How is this possible? Number 68? Candace's deep eyes were filled with disbelief. He did not want to believe it either. Candace, William said softly. Shit, Candace said quietly. From today onwards, don't mess with this Luo Feng, yes. William nodded. What dog's it luck? Candace cursed. He was not happy that the Huaxia kid, whom he didn't like, was able to get the 68th place in the first month. But no matter how unhappy he was, logic told Candace that his past conflict with Luo Feng was just a matter of pride, not some life and death grudge. I'll just swallow my anger and pretend that Luo Feng doesn't exist in the future. I won't fight with Luo Feng anymore. This Luo Feng is going to strike it rich. He must have struck it rich, a chubby yellow-skinned youth exclaimed. In the history of our training camp, there have only been 5 people who charge into the top 100 in the first month. The most recent was 8 years ago. And this time, Luo Feng not only charged into the top 100, but he's 68th. 98th and 68th are both in the top 100, but the meaning is completely different. The 68th place was definitely much stronger than the 98th place. Everyone knew Earth's powerful countries and organizations all value talents. It would be weird if they didn't value a talent like Luo Feng. Luo Feng's rank 68 is even more valuable than this time's rank 1. What's next? In a residential building 3 kilometers away. F*CK. The sturdy man with short, dyed blonde hair widened his eyes as he stared at the screen on the wall of the room. He stared hard at the name Luo Feng at number 68, his eyes wide open. As the leader of the intelligence team here, he knew the information of these students like the back of his hand. He was very clear. Luo Feng's name appearing at rank 68, what did it mean? Quick, connect to the boss. The burly man's expression was ferocious. Captain, it's not even midnight yet. A woman in slightly revealing clothing giggled. Mother asterisk her. Hurry up and connect to the boss. Now. The burly man's eyes revealed a murderous glint. Only then did the woman, who had been giggling, realize the seriousness of the situation. She immediately contacted her boss. Shit, this genius is actually from China. Contact the general. I want to talk to him immediately. 68T. He's only 19 years old, and he came from an ordinary family. He didn't receive any special martial arts training when he was young. This Luo Feng is insane. Hurry, contact the leader, a middle-aged Chinese man ordered. At this moment, in Hongning headquarters city, various powerful countries' military organizations and special administrative organizations, some families, financial groups, and even mercenaries found the newest ranking on the elite training camp's Black Dragon leaderboard. As qualified intelligence personnel, they immediately reported it to the headquarters. Being ranked in the top 100 is already an absolute genius, and being ranked 68 is even more impressive. and he's only 19 years old. Keep in mind that for super powerful organizations like the 5 Great Countries and the 2 Great Dojo, even though a fighter's body fitness level increases quickly is shocking, it's not enough for them to risk their lives to get their hands on him. After all, in terms of body fitness level, there are things like dragon blood and things like special items that aren't, all of which can strengthen the body. In short, one's body fitness level can be improved by spending a huge amount of money. However, one's technique, fist strength, and blade technique can't be forced. These can only be improved through battle after battle, training after training, experience, and comprehension. In the words of the elite training camp, it's battle ability amplifier. 1 part of strength can bring out 10 parts of battle ability, or even 100 parts of battle ability. This is true skill. Luo Feng's battle ability amplifier is clearly very high. Jiangnan Headquarters City, main sector. In Jiangnan University's female dormitory, room 602 is Su Xian's dormitory. This dormitory has a public living room and 4 small rooms. Every girl lives in a small room. A dormitory like this is already considered high class in Jiangnan University's dormitory area. Every year, you have to pay an extremely high fee. Third sister, actually, I think young Master Wang is pretty good. He's pretty devoted to you, said a mixed girl with long hair. She was sleepily lying on the sofa while holding a steaming hot cup of coffee as she laughed. Second sister, Su Xian likes that Luo Feng. You don't have to be that young Master Wang's lobbyist, said a mixed girl with long hair. Right now, these 4 girls, including Su Xian, were gossiping. Don't say any more, Su Xian slightly frowned. Su Xian was clearly unhappy. The other 3 girls laughed and didn't say anything else. To be able to live in this dormitory, one's family background isn't normal. However, in comparison, Su Xian's family is the most impressive. Okay, Su Xian was holding an economics book in her hand. She was casually flipping through it, but her attention wasn't on the book. Su Xian was annoyed. She was annoyed because she's about the right age to get married. In this day and age, many girls get married in university. Plus, Su Xian is the daughter of a Su family and has a pretty high status. This caused many people to chase after Su Xian. Quite a few of them are related to the Su family. Even though Su Xian's attitude is tough, there's still a lot of troubles. Her family's attitude has always been ambiguous. Her phone rang. Bro's calling. Su Xian held her phone suspiciously and entered her room. After closing the door, she picked up the call. Su Gang's face appeared on the phone screen. Bro, what's up? Asked Su Xian. Good news, very good news. Su Gang's face was full of smiles on the phone screen. Hey, my sister, your eyes aren't normal. This Luo Feng did something really big this time. Su Xian was confused. What big thing? Oh, you're talking about entering the top 100 of the elite training camp? It's not just the top 100, it's number 68. Su Gang was extremely shocked. This news spread like a whirlwind. Which family in the HR Alliance doesn't know about it? I bet the 5 great countries and headquarters cities all know about it. At least at this moment, most of the organizations in the world are talking about Luo Feng. Su Xian didn't hear the rest of her brother's words. She only knew one thing. Luo Feng is number 68. Su Xian isn't a simple girl. She knows a lot, so she knows what this title means. Sister, the entire family really approves of you and Luo Feng. Not just mom and dad, but even grandpa and the rest of the generation completely approve of you and Luo Feng. Su Gang laughed as he said, the ones who truly make the decisions in the Su family are naturally the elders of Su Xian's grandfather's generation. After hearing this, Su Xian didn't know whether to laugh or curse. This is the family. Oh, I understand, nodded Su Xian. Damn, aren't you excited at all? Laughed Su Gang. Su Xian purposefully squeezed out a smile. Satisfied now, bro? The call quickly ended. Su Xian's smile widened. Now, there's no more trouble. Since the family completely approves of her and Luo Feng, then Su Xian doesn't care about those young masters. Without the influence of the family, Su Xian wouldn't care about those people. The sky is clear after the rain. Okay, Su Xian sat in front of her laptop and connected to Luo Feng. Hongning Headquarters City, elite training camp. Luo Feng was like a stray dog. After he finished talking to Zhao Ruo and Shi Jiang, he immediately rushed into his own building. My God, I caused such a huge commotion when I reached number 68. Luo Feng thought back to when he walked out of the training room, especially when he walked out of the 9 grand floors. He was completely surrounded by a large group of people from the training camp. More accurately, they all came to congratulate him. Quite a few students came to send invitations on behalf of their factions. Invitations after invitations. The treatment they received was so good that it made people's hearts tremble. Almost every family's treatment had over 10 billion in funds every year. This is definitely a sky-high price for an advanced level war god. And right now, Luo Feng is even more popular than an advanced level war god. The Tower of Trials is the same. 1 hour on time. When the time is up, I'll be kicked out of the virtual space. Luo Feng was a bit regretful. If I could stay in there for a while longer, then he... Actually, Luo Feng's harvest from the virtual space Tower of Trials this time was extremely huge. The second floor of the trial tower was very difficult. Originally, Luo Feng had no hope of passing the second level's B stage. In just 3 short minutes, he was killed 3 times in the B stage. However, on the 4th time, Luo Feng actually once again entered the perfect level of technique state. In that state, Luo Feng's technique combined with his explosive speed and attack power. Unknowingly, he had actually directly passed stage B. At this time, Luo Feng's ranking jumped from 98th to 82nd. He jumped 16 places. However, it was stage C again. At the final moment of the 1 hour, when there was still half a minute left, the electronic voice actually reminded Luo Feng that there were 30 seconds left. With just this reminder, Luo Feng was distracted, Pucci, deaf. However, he could not blame the virtual space for reminding him. The main reason was that stage C was too difficult. The slightest distraction would result in death and failure. However, Luo Feng still obtained a Tower of Trials rank of 2. 9. Clearly, Luo Feng had already completed stage C and was pretty close to success. At this time, Luo Feng's ranking jumped from 82nd to 68th. The perfect level body movement realm has been maintained for more than 40 minutes at stage B and stage C. This perfect level, I should be considered to have stepped into this level. Luo Feng was overjoyed. When his technique increased by 1 level, his true battle strength definitely increased by a few times. Otherwise, how could he easily pass stage B and almost pass stage C? Beep beep. A sound came from the laptop. It was a video chat request. HM? Luo Feng walked over and couldn't help but to let out a smile. Su X Science? He immediately clicked accept. A video swiftly appeared on the computer screen. In the video was Su Xin. P.S. Chapter 1 up to Chapter 126. At midnight, Luo Feng was chatting with Su Xin. At this moment, his laptop received the Black Dragon Rankings final ranking. Luo Feng glanced at it and saw that his rank was 68. Clearly, the ranking didn't change much in the last 40 minutes. Luo Feng was happy tonight. However, Candace returned to his place with a terrible expression. Candace's tower, study room. After showering, Candace sat in front of his laptop. His computer already received 2 video chat requests. Candace glanced at them. One was from the Paulinus family's headquarters, and the other was from his aunt, Vanina and Paulinus, who currently lives in China. He clicked accept his aunt's chat request. Aunt Candace laughed as he yelled, "Candace, my baby, long time no see," said Vanina passionately. The relationship between Candace and his aunt was very good. Because his father and mother didn't get along when he was young, his parents quickly divorced, and Candace had been raised by Vanina since he was young. To Candace, Vanina was both his aunt and mother. The reason why he was so strong was also because of his aunt's intentional guidance and education. "Baby, you don't seem to be in a good mood," said Vanina. "Yeah, a bit," nodded Candace. "The family isn't happy with you because of Luo Feng," laughed Vanina. Candace couldn't help but to curse. "I knew those old geezers would find trouble with me. At the end of last month, the family told me to invite Luo Feng. Yes, I rejected that suggestion. But even if I showed up, I wouldn't have succeeded. That Luo Feng rejected them long ago. At the end of March, Luo Feng joined the training camp. One of the core families of the HR Alliance, the Paulinus family, wanted to invite Luo Feng. However, Candace and William had some conflicts with Luo Feng, so why would Candace invite him? Some people in the family are trying to find fault with you, said Vanina carelessly. Don't mind it too much. My brothers are all eyeing my position. They want me to make a huge mistake and take away my position as the #1 successor, sneered Candace. Powerful families like the Paulinus family have cruel internal conflicts. Baby, don't worry. My aunt will definitely support you. Vanina smiled. And within the clan, there are many who support you as well. You're in the world's best training camp, and you're performing well. Don't worry, baby. After you graduate from the training camp, you'll have more experience, and you'll naturally be able to take over the family, yes. Candace nodded. Your ranking is pretty good this time. Keep working and try to get into the top 30-inch, encouraged Vanina. I will nod at Candace. His aunt and uncle could be considered Candace's staunch supporters. Auntie, there's something I need your help with. Vanina's expression was a little ugly. Luo, sighed Vanina. Vanina sighed and said, You also know that your brother Wei was killed. Yes, Candace knew about it. I want you to pay attention to this Luo Feng when you're in the training camp. If you discover that this Luo Feng might be a spirit reader, you must tell me immediately. That's why she asked Candace for help. Spirit reader? Candace was shocked. Aunt, you suspect Luo Feng to be the killer? Spirit reader? Said Candace in shock. Aunt, you suspect Luo Feng is the killer? Of course, Candace knew about the astronomical bounty. If he's a spirit reader, then he's pretty much the killer, not a Vanina. The possibility of him being a spirit reader isn't high, frowned Candace. But, Aunt, don't worry. I'll keep an eye on him. The first 28 days of April were extremely competitive, but the rankings were already set. The last 2 days of April were the 29th and 30th. The students were quite relaxed. 29th, 8 a.m., in a small training hall on the second floor of the 9 grand floors. Senior. After Luo Feng entered the training hall, he greeted the other 3 students who were already there. Soon, 2 more students arrived. A total of 6 people. 4 of them were Chinese, and 2 of them were white. And among these 6 students, 3 of them were women, which took up half of the group. With the ratio of men to women in the training camp, the ratio of girls in Luo Feng's group of 6 is quite ridiculous. Luo Feng, you actually made it to rank 68. Awesome. A tall and sturdy Chinese youth laughed and gave him a thumbs up. Just one word, awesome. Junior brother. A white girl with long brown hair smiled as she looked at Luo Feng and spoke fluent Mandarin. In the entire training camp, a lot of people were talking about you in the cafeteria this morning. In the past, I couldn't tell that junior brother was so powerful. I want to learn from you, junior brother. Shall we practice the saber together this afternoon? Janet, you like Luo Feng? Another white girl laughed. Luo Feng, Janet's on a date with you. Don't miss the chance. Yes, so what? Janet raises eyebrows. Oh, haha, Junior Luo Feng, aren't you going to grab your chance? There were very few female trainees in the training camp, and the male trainees were very willing to marry the female trainees. After all, to be able to enter the elite training camp, one would definitely become a war god in the future. If a war god and a war god got married, their children would have a bright future. Luo Feng was speechless. Western girls were indeed bolder than Eastern girls. Teacher Jiang Feng currently had a total of 6 disciples. Because Jiang Feng was a Chinese, she usually accepted Chinese as her disciples. Occasionally, she would also accept disciples from other countries and base cities. However, those countries usually only accepted females. Teacher Jiang Feng, who was wearing a purple dojo uniform, smiled as she walked in. Today is the 29th, and all 6 of you are here. Luo Feng, not bad yesterday. The saber technique class ended at 10:30 p.m. Everyone left one by one. Luo Feng, wait a bit, said Jiang Feng. The other 5 students all left, leaving only Luo Feng and Jiang Feng in the training hall. Teacher, Luo Feng looked at Jiang Feng with a confused expression. Jiang Feng smiled as she looked at Luo Feng, her eyes squinting. For a teacher to have such a good disciple is a happy thing. Jiang Feng said lightly, Luo Feng, you were able to charge to rank 68 in the first month, and you're only 19 years old. And you came from a poor background, so you don't have any special resources. I can imagine that all the countries and organizations in the world will extend their olive branches to you. Yeah, Luo Feng nodded. However, I have to remind you of something, said Jiang Feng. Please tell me. Luo Feng was curious. What would Jiang Feng remind him of? Jiang Feng said, this elite training camp was created by the Dojo of Limits. Even though the Dojo of Limits has an agreement with the countries and the HR Alliance to fight for talent fairly. However, for a talent like you, the Dojo of Limits definitely won't let you enter other organizations easily. And I'm also warning you not to accept other organizations. It's best if you join the Dojo of Limits. Even though Luo Feng was originally a member of the Dojo of Limits, it doesn't mean that you have to stay in the Dojo of Limits for your entire life. For example, after entering the elite training camp, you have the right to accept invitations from other organizations. Why? Asked Luo Feng. Because the conditions the Dojo of Limits gives you are the best, smiled Jiang Feng. The best? Luo Feng was curious. Usually, only organizations that don't have a strong enough background will try to offer better treatment to keep people. The Dojo of Limits treatment will be the best? Of course, Jiang Feng nodded. Because our head is the world's strongest fighter, the head will always get the most of the archaeological ruins, special treasures, etc. For example, dragon blood. The only person in the world who openly sells dragon blood and supplies it is our head. Luo Feng blinked twice. From what Jiang Feng said, the head, Hong, is the richest person in the world. Just you wait, the higher-ups will probably summon you in 1 or 2 days, said Jiang Feng. Virtual space. In a large conference room. The floor of the conference room was silver, the walls were silver, and even the gigantic round table was silver. Only the 6 chairs were pure black, as if they could swallow everything. And at this time, on the 6 chairs surrounding the silver round table, 5 of the chairs had 5 people in white robes sitting on them. The ceiling of the conference room was an endless starry sky, as if there was no end. 5 people in white robes, 3 Chinese, 1 white, and 1 black. Everyone, this is Luo Feng's information. His Tower of Trials level is 2. 9, and his fist strength level is 2. 8, in other words, his battle ability amplifier is 8. 12, which is considered excellent, said one of the Chinese people in white robes. 1 to 2 is beginner. 2 to 4 is intermediate, and 4 to 8 is advanced. 8 to 16 is excellent, and Luo Feng just so happens to be in the ranks of excellent. A black man in white robes nodded. His battle points from hunting monsters are the same as the third-year students of the training camp. His battle ability amplifier is excellent. Even though he just entered excellent, it's the same level as the fourth-year students. Combining the two, he's ranked 68. Investigator Wong, I agree to summon Luo Feng, but the treatment you're giving, Vladimir, I don't think the treatment I'm giving him is high enough, the 5 people in white robes were discussing. If some of the war gods in the Dojo of Limits saw this, they would definitely be extremely excited, because this is the legendary highest meeting of the Dojo of Limits, the Round Table Conference. Only 6 people have the right to participate in the Round Table Conference, Head Hong and the 5 main investigators. The 5 main investigators are all existences that surpass the war god level. The head and the 5 main investigators are the highest level of the Dojo of Limits. Any one of them is enough to make a country fearful. And the Round Table Conference is usually held by the 5 main investigators. The head himself rarely interferes, because the 5 main investigators are scattered all over the world. The Round Table Conference is held in virtual space. Naturally, the other war gods have only heard of the Round Table Conference, but have never seen it. 5 inspectors. An electronic voice rang out. Silence. The 5 investigators raised their heads and looked towards the sky. 5 documents floated down from the sky above the conference room and landed in front of the 5 investigators. The electronic voice continued. This is the head's decision on how to deal with Luo Feng. If you have any objections, you can report to the head. If not, please carry out this decision. Any objections? Said the electronic voice. No, 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 no. The 5 investigators flipped through the documents and swiftly responded. Then, Investigator Wong, please carry it out immediately, said the electronic voice. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Calling for monthly votes. Recommendation votes. Please support Tomato. Chapter 127. The last day of April, morning. The spring rain was falling outside, and it was a bit cold. Hongning headquarters city, in a quiet old-style villa in the elite training camp. Jiang Fong, who was wearing a white bra, was sitting cross-legged in the training hall. She was taking deep and slow breaths. As she breathed, Jiang Fong's skin started to sweat, and the skin on her entire body was slightly red. Suddenly, the melodious sound of a flute rang, and Jiang Fong opened her eyes. Who's calling at this time? Jiang Fong stood up in confusion and walked barefooted towards the cell phone in the corner of the training hall. She looked at the name displayed on the cell phone. Jiang Fong's expression changed, and her attitude immediately became more serious. Investigator Wong. Jiang Fong, go notify your disciple Luo Feng and bring him to me, a slightly hoarse voice carried from the phone. Yes. Jiang Fong immediately responded. After hanging up, Jiang Fong let out a smile. So the higher-ups are looking for Luo Feng. That's right, the training camp hasn't had a student charge into the top 108 years, and Luo Feng's number 68, the higher-up summon, was within her expectations. After that, Jiang Fong dialed Luo Feng's number. Beep, 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 the busy tone sounded. Why isn't he picking up? Jiang Fong slightly frowned and hung up. She changed her clothes and personally walked towards Luo Feng's place. Jiangnan Pagoda, in the underground room of Luo Feng's pagoda. Luo Feng, who was barefooted and wearing long pants, was completely covered in sweat. His hair was also completely wet. Hack! In this 5-meter-long and 5-meter-wide underground room, Luo Feng's feet moved and he advanced like lightning. At the same time, his right hand chopped vertically. Chi! The sound of paper tearing appeared in the air, followed by an explosion, and Luo Feng took advantage of the momentum of his right hand's downward chop. Lift! Luo Feng's spiritual force could clearly feel that the air under this chop was split apart like water, and it created a powerful explosion. His hand was like a real blade. Every chop surpassed the speed of sound. In this alloy room, Luo Feng's silhouette was sometimes blurry and sometimes solid. Every time he moved, his speed was terrifying. And Luo Feng's hand blade was completely like a real blade as it attacked the air. Attack after attack. Every time it exploded with 8 times his normal strength. After punching 1,000 times, his movements became natural. This was something that Jiang Fong once said. Jiang Fong once said that no matter if it was saber skills, body movements, or other things, only through repeated practice would there be progress. If he just sat there and daydreamed, it would be useless no matter how much he thought. You want to improve your movement technique? Practice. You want to improve your saber skills? Practice. Do you want your punches to be stronger? Practice. It was a long period of tempering, coupled with the ability to use one's brain and the ability to comprehend. This was the only way to improve. Jiang Fong arrived at Jiangnan Pagoda, wearing loose, black silk training clothes and holding an umbrella. Luo Feng, yelled Jiang Fong as she arrived at the courtyard of Jiangnan Pagoda. From the second floor of another pagoda, a girl jumped down with an umbrella. It was Zhao Ruo. Zhao Ruo giggled. Teacher Jiang Fong, you could have just called if you wanted to find Luo Feng. Why did you have to personally come? Whoosh! In Luo Feng's pagoda, a shadow dashed into the first floor and then dashed upstairs. Teacher, I'll be down a bit, Zhao Ruo and Jiang Fong froze. They were both powerful fighters, so how good of an idea do they have? Of course, they saw that Luo Feng was barefoot and only wearing long pants. Junior sure works hard. He's covered in sweat, praised Zhao Rua, but his body isn't bad either. Don't you think so, teacher? You little girl, Jiang Fong, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She was actually teased by this Zhao Rua. Zhao Rua made a face and giggled. Where's Shi Jiang? Not here, asked Jiang Fong. Senior Shi Jiang went to the 9 grand floors early in the morning. He's different from us. He spent a lot of time in the training room and the archaeological gravity room. Zhao Rua shook her head and pretended to sigh. How pitiful. In 1 or 2 years, Luo Feng will probably charge into the top 10. Compared to those two, I'm so embarrassed. Jiang Fong laughed. You little girl, if you want to improve, you need to put in more effort at this time. Luo Feng, who was wearing casual clothes, rushed downstairs with an umbrella in his hand. Teacher, follow me, said Jiang Fong. Luo Feng obediently held the umbrella and followed beside Jiang Fong as they left Jiangnan Pagoda. Walking in the training camp that was covered by the misty rain gave off a different feeling. Jiang Fong glanced at Luo Feng and laughed. Luo Feng. Investigator Wang wants to see you, investigator? Luo Feng was shocked. Investigator. That's the highest and most important person in the Dojo of Limits. Legend has it that the head and the 5 investigators are the ones in charge of the Dojo of Limits. And the head's position is extremely high. He's the strongest fighter in the world, so he doesn't interfere with most things. The decisions are made by the 5 investigators. Didn't I say last time that the higher-ups will summon you? Laughed Jiang Fong. Teacher, what should I pay attention to when I meet the investigator? Luo Feng was a bit nervous. He's an investigator after all, one of the existences that stand at the peak of humanity. He has unparalleled strength. In the past, Luo Feng only saw an existence that surpasses the war god level called Zhu Shi from afar at that war god named Lu Gang's memorial ceremony. At that time, all the important figures in the military, government, and war gods were very respectful and obediently went to receive him. Don't worry, you're not going to ask for help. Our dojo is summoning you, said Jiang Fong lightly, so don't be reserved. I believe that Investigator Wang won't smile when he sees you, but at least he won't act like an investigator. You just need to pay attention to your attitude and not be arrogant. Just treat him like a teacher or an elder, said Jiang Fong. Oh, Luo Feng nodded. Following Jiang Fong, Luo Feng quickly found a seemingly normal villa in the war god teacher's area of the training camp. This villa had the style of an ancient Chinese Tang dynasty villa. Compared to the other war god teacher's villas, the only thing special about this villa was that it took up a bit more space. Teacher Jiang Fong, the grand investigator is waiting for you, and student Luo Feng inside, smiled an old housekeeper at the entrance of the villa. They entered the villa. Luo Feng immediately saw that there were 3 women chatting and laughing in the lobby of the first floor of the villa. Oh, it's little Jiang. One of the women, who maintained herself well and looked like a noble lady, smiled. Old Wang is in the guest room upstairs. Old Wang just said, let that kid named Luo Feng go up. Little Jiang, come over and chat with us. How about we play mahjong later? That's right, little Jiang. Don't just cultivate all the time, another woman said. Most of the women in the training camp were the war god teachers' families. You can go up, said Jiang Fong. Okay, Luo Feng walked up the stairs by himself. When he arrived at the 2nd floor, he could already smell the faint yet soothing aroma of tea. Following the aroma, Luo Feng easily arrived at the door of the guest room. The door was open. Come in, a slightly hoarse voice rang. Luo Feng walked into the guest room. The first person he saw was the only other person in the guest room, a skinny man who was sitting cross-legged. He had a mustache and looked like he was around 40 years old. From his face, one could tell that he was quite handsome when he was young. Right now, this skinny man had his eyes closed and was playing with his prayer beads. A cup of tea was placed on the table in front of him. Grand Investigator Luo Feng slightly bowed. This skinny man slightly opened his eyes. Being stared at by him, Luo Feng felt like he was separated from the world. This guest room was like an independent space, and this skinny man was like this spirit of this guest room. This formless pressure made Luo Feng hold his breath. Sit. The skinny man pointed at the other side of the table. There weren't any chairs in this guest room. So how do I sit? Luo Feng could only learn from this investigator Wang and sat cross-legged on the floor. Take a close look at the contract in front of you. If there are no problems, then sign it, said investigator Wang calmly. After that, he closed his eyes and played with his prayer beads. There was indeed a contract on the table. There were 3 pieces of paper in total. Luo Feng took them and looked at them carefully. This is the official recruitment contract of the Dojo of Limits. It's different from normal contracts. For example, when normal fighters join the Dojo of Limits, they don't get paid, just like the Luo Feng of the past. However, even though they don't get paid, the Dojo of Limits doesn't have many requirements for these normal fighters. But this contract is different. They have power and benefits, but they also have responsibilities. 5 billion Chinese dollars a year? Luo Feng slightly frowned. This price isn't high. It can even be said to be very low. A beginner-level war god can earn this much in a year. And right now, Luo Feng is even more popular than an advanced-level war god. None of the conditions given by other organizations are less than 10 billion Chinese dollars a year. According to this contract, only an extremely small number of people in the Dojo of Limits can get paid. Get paid according to your status? The contract also stated the amount of money each level can get. Even the highest-ranked examiner only gets 10 billion a year. The Dojo of Limits' money is relatively low. However, most people don't join the Dojo of Limits for money. Luo Feng's eyes flashed when he flipped to the 3rd piece of paper. Party B, before August 1st, 2057, if your battle ability amplifier reaches 12, you will receive a 9th Series battle uniform, a full set of weapons, a full set of any instruction manual, and a portion of dragon blood worth 80 billion inch. Party B, before August 1st, 2057 to January 1st, 2058, if your battle ability amplifier reaches 12, you will receive a 9th Series battle uniform, a full set of weapons, a drop of chalcedony worth 30 billion. Party B, before January 1st, 2060, if your battle ability amplifier reaches 16, you will receive a SS grade battle uniform, a full set of weapons, a portion of dragon blood worth 80 billion, a full set of any 3 instruction manuals, and a set of Black God from the archaeological ruins. Party B is... P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 128. There were a total of 5 rewards, and each one of them was quite tempting. However, the requirements were quite high. A battle ability amplifier of 12. Luo Feng sighed to himself. If I can reach a battle ability amplifier of 12, I'll definitely be in the top 20 after reading the student instructions and chatting with Shi Jiang, Zhao Ruo, and a few other old students. Luo Feng was clear about the difficulty and meaning of the battle ability amplifier. 1 to 2 is beginner, 4 to 8 is advanced, and 8 to 16 is excellent. You can say that sometimes no student in the entire training camp has a battle ability amplifier of 16 in the entire 5 years. In other words, a battle ability amplifier of 14. 15 is enough to charge into the top 5 of the training camp. Those who reach 13 are usually in the top 10. Those who reach 12 are usually in the top 20. This is a rough estimate. The rewards on the list are shocking, but the conditions are also harsh. This 3rd condition will allow me to reach a battle ability amplifier of 16 by January 1st, 2060. With all these rewards, if you count them in terms of money, it would be an unbelievably high price. Even existences surpassing the war god level wouldn't be willing to spend money to buy this. However, this condition will allow me to reach a battle ability amplifier of 16 in 3 years. Luo Feng felt the pressure. As of now, it's hard to say if there's even one student in the entire training camp who has a battle ability amplifier of 16. However, in the history of the training camp, there have been students who have a battle ability amplifier of over 16 upon graduation. These 5 conditions, the 2 closest to me, both require a battle ability amplifier of 12. The earlier I reach it, the higher the reward. If I reach it before August 1st, the reward will be extremely shocking. If I reach it this year, the reward will be a bit lower. If I reach it next year or the year after, there won't be any reward at all. Are you done reading? A hoarse voice rang. On the other side of the table, Investigator Wong looked at Luo Feng. I'm done, nodded Luo Feng. Do you have any objections? Said Investigator Wong calmly. Luo Feng respectfully said, Mr. Investigator, I want to ask. For the last 5 rewards, can treasures of the same value be exchanged for the water of life, which is worth 30 billion? His brother Luo Hua relied on the elixir of life to grow his legs back, and he doesn't even know when the elixir of life will be auctioned. He might as well get it from the Dojo of Limits. It can't be changed. Inspector Wong shook his head slightly. Nothing in this contract can be changed. None of them can be changed? Luo Feng was shocked. They didn't have to be this overbearing when negotiating a contract. Plus, the Dojo of Limits invited him, and it was an investigator. Clearly, the Dojo of Limits' attitude was very sincere. Student Luo Feng, this contract was personally drafted by the head, so other than the head, no one else has the right to change it, said Investigator Wong. Master? Hong? Luo Feng was shocked. Just like Luo Feng's generation, they grew up listening to Hong's legends. He was the world's strongest expert, the world's richest man, the absolute #1. This contract was actually drafted by Hong himself. It was no wonder that the inspector did not dare to change it. Do you really want the water of life? Inspector Wong observed the young man in front of him. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. That's not difficult. According to the usual practice, there should be an auction for the water of life in the second half of this year. When the time comes, you can participate in the auction. Investigator Wong said as he fiddled with the prayer beads. His voice was hoarse, and he spoke slowly. Talking to him made people unknowingly fall into a Zen atmosphere. The second half of this year, Luo Feng couldn't help but to be surprised. Patrolling Inspector Wong said calmly, This water of life isn't some rare item to begin with. If it wasn't for the American military purposely try to squeeze money out of other organizations and people, there would be no need to auction it at all. In front of Luo Feng, Investigator Wong didn't even bother to hide this secret. It's not rare. Luo Feng was shocked. Isn't it only possible to use an existence surpassing the Horde leader level, the essence of an Emperor-level monster, Earth Dragon King, as the main ingredient, along with... Who did you hear this from? Investigator Wong calmly asked back. The internet. Luo Feng froze. Investigator Wong raised the teacup in front of him and lightly took a sip as he said, How could such a secret be made public? The internet is just a rumor that the American government intentionally spread in order to raise the price and make everyone think how rare and precious this thing is. Rumor. Luo Feng slightly frowned. Remember, Investigator Wong looked at Luo Feng. The treasures that normal fighters can find out about on the internet are all renewable. Almost all of them were renewable, and all of them had a price tag. Even if they intentionally auction it, they won't be able to sell it for such a terrifying price. Renewable? Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. Inspector Wong nodded slightly. Being able to be regenerated means that this kind of treasure can be created again as long as money is invested. For example, the water of life is actually a medical device from an archaeological ruin that the American government obtained. After investing large amounts of energy and materials, they can create a type of medicine. Luo Feng froze. So it's a medical device from the archaeological ruin that can create medicine. As long as you invest a large amount of money, you can create a medicine. You're saying that this medicine can be sold for an astronomical price? Investigator Wong laughed lightly. For example, dragon blood that's worth 80 billion. Do you really think it's really the heart blood of an emperor-level monster, dragon? Right now, in the entire world, there aren't more than 10 emperor-level monsters on Earth. However, in the Dojo of Limits, dragon blood is sold at a clear price. As long as you have money, the Dojo of Limits can sell it to you, said Investigator Wong. Even if you want to buy 10 portions, we can sell it to you. You're saying there aren't even 10 dragons on Earth. So where does this dragon blood come from? Yeah, even if you kill all the dragons, you won't be able to make 10 portions of dragon blood. However, the Dojo of Limits can sell it at a clear price. This dragon blood is indeed dragon blood, using the heart blood of an emperor-level monster, dragon, to make a portion of dragon blood. Compared to the dragon blood provided by our dojo, the effects might even be better, said Investigator Wong. However, only the head can make dragon blood. This isn't a secret. Luo Feng nodded and understood. Even though these things that can be sold at a clear price are precious, they can be created again. As long as you invest money, you can create it again. A true treasure, such as a unique treasure that can't be created again, is an astronomical price. That's a sky-high price, Inspector Wong said, but you can't see that kind of treasure on the internet, because they aren't publicly sold or auctioned. For example, there are around 10 types of treasures that can strengthen one's body. Only dragon blood can be sold at a clear price. As for the other 10 types, even though they can't be created again, their effects aren't even as good as dragon blood. And some of them have even better effects than dragon blood. Dragon blood can double a person's strength, and some treasures can increase a person's strength by 3 to 4 times, or even 10 times. Sadly, these treasures were consumed by someone 20 years ago. They're all gone in this world now. Luo Feng was shocked as he listened. So, these treasures are also divided into renewable and non-renewable. Truly rare treasures are unique in this world and won't be sold publicly. Existences like Hong and Thunder God don't lack money at all. Whether it's with their fists or money, they've already gotten their hands on them. How could they let these treasures be sold publicly? No wonder the dojo of Limit's rewards are so good. Dragon blood belongs to the dojo itself. Secret manual? Although it seemed like a sky-high price, it was actually the dojo itself that was selling it. The dojo only needs to pay for the combat uniforms. Even though Luo Feng understood, he also knew that the rewards were still very high. Creating dragon blood definitely wasn't done out of thin air. It definitely required investment. Materials were also needed for combat suits, and the cost alone was quite shocking. This contract cannot be changed. Are you willing to sign it now? Inspector Wong showed a rare smile. Yes. Luo Feng nodded and immediately signed the contract. Sign this one. Inspector Wong handed over another copy of the contract that looked exactly the same. You keep one copy, and my dojo keeps the other. After signing the contract, Luo Feng became a core member of the dojo. His annual budget was 5 billion, and now, the first target was he would strive to increase his combat ability amplifier to 12 by August 1st. If I succeed, I will be able to obtain a portion of dragon blood. Dragon blood can multiply a person's strength and increase his training speed. The most important thing for Luo Feng right now is to increase his fitness level. The stronger his fitness level, the stronger his spiritual force. Becoming an advanced level war god level spirit reader is Luo Feng's goal. Dragon blood could speed up the process even more. April 30th, evening, first floor of the cafeteria of the training camp. Students of all skin colors were divided into groups as they sat around and ate dinner. Luo Feng, you seem to be in a good mood, laughed Zhao Ruo. It's all right, grinned Luo Feng. Signing the contract was one thing, but the other was that he knew that the elixir of life was a renewable resource. Since that's the case, he won't have to worry about not being able to buy it with money. Dear students, dear students. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed around the entire cafeteria. All the students raised their heads and saw a Chinese war god teacher with a face full of excitement as he said loudly, "Let me tell everyone a piece of good news. Before everyone's life and death adventure this year, which is August 1st, our head of the dojo of limits, the strongest fighter in the world, Hong, will personally come to the training camp." What? OMG, it's Hong. The entire cafeteria erupted. All the students from all over the world started shouting in surprise. Their faces were filled with joy. Hong, on the current Earth, he's a godlike existence. No matter which country, which region, whether it's a fighter or a normal person, they all know one name, Hong. They all know that the strongest fighter in the world is Hong. Hong God, some of the African Americans even danced excitedly on the spot. All the students stood up and discussed spiritedly. Holy, it's rare to see Hong in person even in the elite training camp. Usually, Hong only comes to the training camp once every few years. Who would have thought that Hong would come this summer? Luo Feng. It's Hong. Zhao Ruo pulled Luo Feng and started jumping excitedly. It's been 3 years since I've been here and I've never seen Hong. Yup. Luo Feng was also excited. He had to see this world's strongest fighter with his own eyes. August 1st, before the life and death adventure. Luo Feng was also excited. Yup, I'll work hard to raise my battle ability amplifier to 12 before then. There's still 3 months. Today was April 30th. There were still 3 months left until August 1st. And if Luo Feng wants to obtain Dragon Blood, he can't relax at all in these 3 months. P.S. 2 chapters completed. At the same time, the day after tomorrow, Saturday, Chapter 4. Chapter 129. Luo Feng was ranked number 68 in April, so he can only go to the wilderness to hunt monsters in May on an even date and stay in the training camp on an odd date. May 1st, around 4 p.m., the elevator on the first floor of the 9 grand floors made a ding sound and opened. Yeah, Luo Feng. The path of your blade specialization has a lot of potential. You just entered the 2nd stage of your blade technique. So what you need to do now is stabilize it until you complete the 2nd stage. Jiang Feng, Luo Feng, Janet, and the other 2 walked out of the elevator. Luo Feng nodded as if he was thinking, "Teacher, I understand. Work hard." Jiang Feng smiled as she encouraged. After walking out of the 9 grand floors, Jiang Feng headed towards her living quarters. Luo Feng, Janet, and another Chinese youth were also preparing to head towards their students' buildings. Janet. The continuous yells caused Luo Feng, Janet, and the other 2 to stop and turn their heads. They saw the gentlemanly blonde youth, Candace, swiftly rush out from the lobby of the 1st floor. He smiled as he looked at Janet. "Janet, do you have time tonight? If you do, let's have dinner together," Luo Feng heard and thought to himself. So he's chasing girls. There aren't many female students in the elite training camp, so there are indeed many people chasing after them. "Oh, sorry, I'm going to have dinner with Junior Luo Feng tonight." Janet sweetly smiled as she hugged Luo Feng's left arm. Candace's expression froze. Luo Feng froze as well. "Senior." Luo Feng looked toward Janet. Luo Feng looked at Janet. Janet was indeed very beautiful. Her body was good, and her skin was extremely white, like an angel. And during class, Janet hinted at him a few times and even asked to go on a date with him. Even though he never agreed, this senior wasn't discouraged at all. Western girls are indeed very courageous. However, he already has Sioux accent. "Janet." Candace was a bit angry. "Candace, sorry." Janet smiled as she hugged Luo Feng's arm and intimately walked away. As he watched Luo Feng, Janet, and the others disappear around the corner, Candace's face turned ugly. At this time, another man walked out from the lobby of the 1st floor. It was William. "Candace, I told you, but you didn't believe me." Right now, many students in the training camp know that Janet is interested in Luo Feng and even took the initiative to date him. It was much easier for a girl to chase a guy. Maybe they had already slept in the same bed. "Why are you still chasing after Janet?" William said with dissatisfaction. "Bastard." Candace clenched his fists, his face ashen. There were very few female trainees in the training camp to begin with, and beautiful ones were even rarer. Ever since Janet entered the training camp, countless male trainees had their eyes on her, and Candace was one of them. Firstly, it was because of Janet's appearance. More importantly, if he had a god of war as his wife. Then, in the future, in the Paulinus family, there would definitely be more people supporting him. This Luo Feng and Janet have the same teacher. Being together every day, it can't be helped if the 2 of them get together. William shook his head and shrugged. That teacher Jiang Feng usually only accepts Chinese. As for the other regions, they only accepted female students. It's impossible for our male students from the European Union to become her disciples. I don't believe that I can't catch him. Candace narrowed his eyes, a cold glint flashing in them. Rage. If a regular student were to compete with Candace, he, of course, would have his own methods. And he's been in the training camp for 3 years, and this is his 4th year. As an old 4th-year student, he can rank around rank 40. He's quite talented. He's confident that he'll be able to reach rank 20 in his 5th year. Candace really doesn't care about regular students. Luo Feng, competing with me over a woman. Candace's face was ashen. Endure. Endure. The Dojo of Limits intentionally spread the news of Luo Feng signing a contract with the Dojo of Limits to all the countries and organizations. Candace was very clear that Luo Feng will definitely become one of the higher-ups of the Dojo of Limits in the future. Even the Paulinus family will have to think twice about messing with a person like this. So, Candace didn't dare to do anything. Candace could only swallow this resentment in his stomach. Endure. This is an ability that a successor of a large family must learn. It's just a fair competition. Janet will definitely be mine, Candace silently said. And right after Luo Feng and Janet turned the corner, the two of them separated. Senior, I already have a girlfriend, Luo Feng had to admit. Luo Feng had to admit that in terms of looks, Janet was indeed prettier than Su Xin. In terms of talent, Janet was also a monster. So what if you have a girlfriend? Even if you're married, you can still steal her. Luo Feng, your senior won't give up. Janet smiled towards Luo Feng and then headed towards her living quarters. Luo Feng face-bombed. Holy, how'd he meet a senior like this? Let's not think about this anymore. Yep, there's still 2 hours until dinner. I'll go back and study my blade technique. My blade technique already has a thunderous feeling. According to what my teacher said, I should solidify and complete the 2nd stage of my blade technique. Luo Feng immediately rushed back to Jiangnan Pagoda and studied his blade technique in the underground room. For Luo Feng, the elite training camp is a holy land for increasing his strength. There's the best path for training here. If he encounters any difficulties, he can ask his teacher for help. There's also a fake gravity room and a specialized blade technique training room, which can greatly increase one's strength. Study blade technique, feel the control of power, and study the 9-stage Thunderblade. Every other day, he would personally hunt monsters in the wilderness. Every day, Luo Feng lived a fulfilling life. And Luo Feng always had a goal, which was to reach a battle ability amplifier of 12 by August 1st. Even though this goal is extremely difficult, it can be seen from the contract that anyone who achieves this result will be rewarded. Just from this, one can understand how difficult it is to reach a battle ability amplifier of 12 in 3 months. No matter how difficult it is, he has to try. What Luo Feng can do is to grasp every single day and improve every single day. Time passed. Time passed quickly as Luo Feng immersed himself in the world of martial arts. In the blink of an eye, it was already July. July was extremely hot. However, there was a bit of coolness in the middle of the night. Jiangnan Pagoda, Luo Feng's quiet room. A stick of incense was lit. The fragrance permeated the entire quiet room, calming one's heart. Luo Feng was wearing a loose silk robe as he sat cross-legged with his palms facing the sky. He was focused on absorbing the energy of the universe and refining it into genetic energy to strengthen his body. The countless cells in Luo Feng's body were like factories, rapidly working as they absorbed the energy of the universe and converted it into genetic energy. The genes in the cells of the human body would also undergo extremely minute changes during the process of absorbing genetic origin energy. These changes were very minute, but many a little makes a mickle. The human body went from being extremely weak to being harder than steel. Even the skin was tougher than diamond. This is the wonder of the human body. After a while, Luo Feng opened his eyes. It's already July. In the blink of an eye, it's already July, thought Luo Feng to himself. August is the month of life and death adventure. Every year, the elite training camp allows students to go home during January and February. Out of the other 10 months, 9 of them are very safe. They are either in the training camp or in the tightly monitored number 1001 city in the wilderness. In these 9 months, there are very few deaths in the training camp. The only dangerous month is August. August is the month of life and death adventure. When that time comes, all the students will have to leave the training camp and take a plane to a dangerous place. All the students will have to risk their lives for a month. Keep in mind that the death rate for normal fighters in the wilderness is quite high. And if the elite students don't experience life and death situations, they won't be able to do much. So the training camp specially took out August to let all the students experience life and death situations. However, the students are very skilled, so it's very hard to kill them. Even so, the training camp still has a death rate of around 10%. August is the life and death adventure. It's already July 1 SD. I still have 1 month left. However, my battle ability amplifier is only 8. 96. There's still a huge gap to 12. Luo Feng slightly frowned. Actually, Luo Feng's improvement in these 2 months was quite shocking. His blade technique, Thunderbolt, has already become its own style. His second stage, specialization, is almost complete. Even teacher Jiang Fong praised him over and over. His technique has also stabilized to the perfect level. The only weakness is that he still hasn't been able to complete the 4th stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade. Logically speaking, Luo Feng's control over his strength has improved quite a bit, but he just can't complete the 4th stage. In May, Luo Feng's Tower of Trials level reached 3.0 on his first attempt. As for the A stage of the 3rd floor, Luo Feng couldn't even last 10 seconds. After stabilizing his perfect technique and improving his blade technique, Luo Feng barely managed to obtain a Tower of Trials level of 3.1 foot at the end of May. In June, at the end of the month, Luo Feng obtained a Tower of Trials level of 3.2 foot, so Luo Feng's battle ability amplifier is 8.96. All in all, Luo Feng hasn't broken through the A stage of the 3rd floor in these 2 months. Keep in mind that the training camp's war god teacher, Yang Hui, only had a Tower of Trials level of 3.2. Being able to reach this level is already quite good. Luo Feng's biggest advantage is his fist strength. The 9-stage Thunderblade is known as the world's #1 instruction manual in terms of force exertion. Other instruction manuals, such as SS grade or S grade instruction manuals, even if you train it to the peak, you can only exert 3 or 4 times your strength. And the 9-stage Thunderblade reaches 7 times. Right now, Luo Feng can reach 8 times, which is much stronger than many of the older students. Even though Luo Feng isn't too satisfied with himself, he's quite famous in the training camp. Because in May, Luo Feng was ranked 56 on the Black Dragon ranking. And in June, he directly killed his way to rank 48, entering the top 50. And that Candace was only ranked 40 in June. Of course, for Luo Feng, the biggest improvement in these 2 months was his body fitness level. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 130. In this training camp, even though he doesn't have many opportunities to use the archaeological gravity room, the results are shocking. And every day, he has 2 hours in the training camp to stay in the gravity room replica. Even though the gravity room replica can only handle 3 times the normal gravity, it can't handle the amount of time he uses it. So, Luo Feng's improvement here is clearly much faster than when he was in Jiangnan City. At the end of March, Luo Feng's fist strength was 11,500 kilograms. At the end of April, Luo Feng's fist strength reached 13,600 kilograms. At the end of April, Luo Feng's fist strength reached 2,100 kilograms. At the end of May, Luo Feng's fist strength reached 16,500 kilograms. In 1 month, it increased by 2,900 kilograms. The main reason is because Luo Feng used the archaeological gravity room for an extra hour in May. This extra hour can be divided into 3 days of 20 minutes per day. This way, the effects of 3 days are comparable to 15 days. This is the speed of improvement under extreme gravity. Of course, Luo Feng's body fitness level also increased, which led to his training speed naturally increasing. The stronger one's body was, the faster one's cultivation speed would be. At the end of June, which is yesterday, Luo Feng tested it himself. His fist strength reached 19,600 kilograms. an increase of 3,100 kilograms in a month. Compared to May, the improvement isn't too big. Note that 16,000 kilograms, 32,000 kilograms is the level of an intermediate level warlord. 32,000 kilograms, 64,000 kilograms is the level of an advanced level warlord. Over 64,000 kilograms is the level of a war god. Luo Feng's current 2.8x explosive power is around 55,000 kilograms. He's not far from the beginner level war god level. Last month, I was ranked number 48. So this month, my time in the archaeological gravity room will double. Luo Feng was very clear about the effects of the archaeological gravity room. 20 minutes a day for 3 days is comparable to 15 days of normal training. This month, Luo Feng has 4 hours, which can be divided into 12 sessions of 20 minutes. This is also the most efficient training method that the elite training camp students have figured out over a long period of time. Every session of 20 minutes for 3 days. Compared to staying in the gravity room for 1 hour a day, the effect was almost twice as much. Last month, I increased by 3,100 kilograms. This month, my fist strength should be able to increase by around 4,000. If this continues, my fitness level will reach the beginner level war god level in 10 months. Spiritual force is the advanced level war god level. 10 months. In other words, in the first half of next year, he would be invincible among the war god level. Of course, that was if the Dark Golden Ball had that much telekinesis. Look forward to it. I hope that the Dark Golden Ball in my sea of consciousness can last until I become an advanced level war god. If I can get a portion of dragon blood, then, in just 1 or 2 months, I can become an advanced level war god. Luo Feng really wanted a portion of dragon blood. Dragon blood has different effects depending on the strength of the user. The stronger one was, the weaker the effect would be. But normally, he could double his strength. Furthermore, the medicinal power contained in the dragon blood could allow a martial artist to cultivate even faster in the future. Dragon blood. Right now, he had a chance to obtain dragon blood, and that was to reach a combat power amplifier of 12 by August 1st. 12. I'm only 8. 96 now, what should I do? It's very hard to break through in a short month with a normal training method. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. I can only use that method. A battle to the death. The best way to increase one's strength is a battle to the death. A battle to the death is also divided into battles to the death with monsters and battles to the death with humans. Naturally, a battle to the death with a more skilled and smarter human fighter is more effective. However, if you fight against a fighter with a huge difference in strength, then there's no point. Defeating your opponent in one move or being defeated in one move. Where's the battle to the death? The best opponent. Their strength is equal, and they can fight to the death. And how many fighters are willing to fight to the death? Thankfully, there's the challenge room. In the virtual space of a challenge room, you can fight to the death without caring about anything else. However, you need money to fight in the challenge room, or you need points. Isn't it just money? I won 5 billion from William last time, and the Dojo of Limits also sent me 5 billion from this year's event budget. I don't believe that I can lose 10 billion in a month. Even if I lose 10 billion, as long as my battle ability amplifier reaches 12, it'll be worth it. Luo Feng had 1 month left before the deadline. He chose a large-scale, staked battle. On the second day, Luo Feng returned from hunting monsters in the wilderness. Around 8 p.m., Jiangnan Pagoda. What? You want to duel with so many people? Sure, Jiang was shocked as he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded. Yeah, senior. I don't know much about the strength of the fighters in the training camp, so I hope you can tell me who's as strong as me. I want to find someone who's as strong as me and duel with them. If you fight to the death against someone who's much stronger than you, there's no point in doing it. You sure put your life on the line. Sure, Jiang shook his head. The lowest bet the virtual space system accepts for a stake battle is 1 billion Chinese dollars. Every stake battle is 1 billion. That's a huge amount of money, and those who are weaker than you definitely won't accept a stake battle. And only those who are confident in beating you will accept a stake battle. With such a large stake battle, you'll probably lose quite a bit of money. Sure, Jiang shook his head and sighed. How about this? Some people in the training camp are good at hunting monsters and have high rankings, but that doesn't mean they're that strong. And some people are strong, but aren't good at climbing the rankings. The Black Dragon ranking is a ranking based on points. Even though it reflects one's strength to a certain extent, it doesn't reflect one's strength by 100%. As an old student and one of the strongest fighters in the training camp, Sure Jiang indeed understands quite a bit of people's strength. I'll give you a list of names. The people on this list are either slightly weaker or slightly stronger than you. Who wins and who loses in a battle will depend on how you perform. After saying that, Sure Jiang opened his laptop and pulled out the ranking list. He looked at the ranking list and swiftly typed out a list. A total of 32 names. Sure Jiang believes that these people aren't too far off from Luo Feng's strength. Thank you, Senior. Luo Feng looked at the list. These people were mainly ranked between number 60 and number 30, but there were a few exceptions. The most ridiculous one was number 91, while the highest was number 21. Around 9 p.m. that night, Kyoto Pavilion. Luo Feng, why are you here? Sit. 3 male students of Kyoto Pavilion were chatting together. When they saw Luo Feng arrive, they all stood up and smiled as they welcomed him. Senior Wang, Luo Feng humbly said, I came here to have a stake battle with you. Wang Tao was ranked number 36 last month. Stake battle? Wang Tao, who was challenged, frowned. He didn't mess with this famous person of the training camp, right? The expressions of the other two youths also slightly changed. Stake battles in the training camp are usually acts of provocation. Senior Wang, I just want to spar with you, nothing else. We don't bet points on stake battles, just money. The lowest amount is 1 billion, said Luo Feng. After hearing that, Wang Tao laughed. For students, the most important thing is points. Points affect your ranking. In normal stake battles, either bet points or money, or both. And the lowest amount for points is 2,000 points. And the lowest amount for money is 1 billion Chinese dollars. Luo Feng only bet money, not points, and it's the lowest amount. Clearly, it's just a spar and not a provocation. Haha, all right. I'll have a stake battle with you, Luo Feng. When you get back, send me a challenge and we'll have a stake battle tomorrow, said Wang Tao straightforwardly. It's just 1 billion, and Wang Tao, has a high chance of winning. Why not give Luo Feng some face? July 3rd. Luo Feng and Wang Tao had a staked battle in the tropical rainforest of the virtual space. In the end, Luo Feng lost. After losing the first match, Luo Feng started challenging other students. In the entirety of July, Luo Feng created a wave of challenges in the elite training camp. Very few students challenge like this. However, since Luo Feng doesn't bet points and only bet the smallest amount of money, the opponents he chose were rarely weaker than him. So most of them succeeded and accepted his challenge. Some people even heard that Luo Feng liked to challenge and took the initiative to challenge him. Luo Feng was able to find an opponent for a battle to the death every single day in the training camp. You can say that Luo Feng was the craziest person in July. From the 3rd to the 27th, Luo Feng had a total of 36 stake battles. He lost 19 and won 17. Every single bet was 1 billion. Clearly, the students didn't want to bet too much. In other words, he lost 2 billion. July 28th, around 11 p.m., Candace and Paulinus returned to their living quarters. This Luo Feng's rank actually rose again this month and charged to number 43. There's less than an hour until 12 p.m., so it'll probably be hard for his rank to change. William and Candace walked side by side back to their living quarters. Candace's face was terrible as he yelled, "Don't mention that Luo Feng in front of me." William looked at Candace. Candace gritted his teeth, clearly furious. "I told you, stop chasing Janet." William sat on the chair. "Janet only has Luo Feng in her eyes." That Chinese kid. Candace was furious. In these 3 months, Candace has been trying to win Janet's heart. Sadly, he failed again and again. Janet clearly only has her junior Luo Feng in her eyes. And tonight, when he was looking at the Black Dragon ranking, Candace tried to get close to Janet again. However, One sentence from Janet angered him to the point that he came back. Endure, endure, endure. Candace suppressed his anger and told himself. Logic told him that he can't mess with Luo Feng. He can only endure. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps rang. Candace and William raised their heads in confusion. At this time, many people should be at the gigantic black dragon statue. So who would come here? A shadow entered the courtyard. Candace's face slightly changed. William opened his eyes wide in shock. Why is he here? The person who came was Luo Feng. Candace, hello, smiled Luo Feng. Candace's name was on the list Jiang wrote back then. Luo Feng, what brings you here? Even though he wanted to eat the person in front of him, Candace still squeezed out a smile and maintained basic courtesy. Luo Feng smiled. Candace, I want to have a wagered battle with you. I don't have any other intentions, just to spar. We won't bet points. Oh, we don't have any points to bet tomorrow. We'll bet money. The lowest amount is 1 billion Chinese dollars. How about it? Wager battle? Candace and William both understood. They've heard about Luo Feng's crazy wager battles. Who would have thought that Candace would come looking for him today? This yellow monkey is always being lovey-dovey with Janet. Candace had a stomach full of anger. He could only suppress his anger for 3 months as he watched the girl he liked get close to another guy. That kind of anger isn't something a normal person can suppress. I've never been good at finding trouble with you, but you actually want to have a wagered battle with me today? Fuck. How can he miss this opportunity? This was a fair and honorable opportunity for revenge. And this Luo Feng delivered himself to him. If he doesn't teach Luo Feng a lesson, he'd be letting down the anger he held in for so long. Wagered battle, sure, but the stakes are way too small. Luo Feng, you're still a popular person in our training camp. 10 billion Chinese dollars, how about it? Candace stared at Luo Feng. This is a huge number, and it's also a huge amount of money for him. However, only with a lot of money can the opponent's heart ache. 10 billion. Luo Feng was shocked. He only bet 1 billion in his previous wager battles. So how can he bet 10 billion? It's rare for the elite training camp to encounter such a large wagered battle every year. And in terms of strength and fitness level, this Candace and Paulinus are much stronger than him. However, in terms of battle ability amplifier, they probably aren't much stronger than him. Why did he suddenly bet such a large amount? What scared? Candace looked at Luo Feng with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. I'm not scared. I just want to spar with you, Candace. It's just a spar, no other intentions. Why do you have to bet so much? Said Luo Feng. Candace laughed coldly in his heart. If he doesn't bet a bit more, he'll only win 1 billion in the end. Luo Feng won't feel any pain at all, so how can he vent his anger? Haha, Luo Feng, you didn't even blink when you won 5 billion Chinese dollars from me. How come you're so cowardly now that you're betting against Candace? William chimed in on the side as he stared at Luo Feng. Or, do you think you'll definitely lose to Candace? If that's the case, then don't even bother looking for Candace. What's the point of coming here? Luo Feng frowned. Candace and William's words were clearly provoking him. Could it be that you were so confident that you could beat William that you bet 5 billion and earn a huge amount of money from him? And now that you're not confident in winning, you're not willing to bet big? Candace looked at Luo Feng. Candace, you really want to bet 10 billion? Frowned Luo Feng. Of course, that's what makes it interesting, smiled Candace. All right then, as you wish, responded Luo Feng. Of course, he knows his own strength the best. In the past month, he went from winning more than he won in the beginning to winning more than he lost. Every time he fights to the death, he learns something and improves a bit. Luo Feng believes that his strength has increased quite a bit since the beginning of this month. Even on the 25th Tower of Trials, Luo Feng has already charged to 3. 4. His improvement is indeed huge. Even though I'm not 100% confident, my chances of winning are around 50% or even higher. With the pressure of the 10 billion bet, this battle to the death might help me make another breakthrough. Thought Luo Feng to himself. There are only 3 days left until August 1st. If he wanted to increase his combat ability amplifier to 12, this battle with huge stakes was also an opportunity for him to do so. As I wish. Candace had some trouble understanding Chinese, So he looked at Luo Phone with a shocked expression. You mean you accept the 10 billion bet battle? Yes, the 10 billion bet battle, nodded Luo Phone. When I go back, I'll send an application to the system. Very good, smiled Candace as he nodded. However, there seemed to be a flame in his eyes, the flame of revenge. P.S. 2 chapters completed. For chapters tomorrow, roar, roar, the climax is coming.